Well.
Hello, hello again.
See
Hello
you,
We
gentlemen.
again.
find ourselves once again in the fronds, gentlemen.
Yes.
Yes.
Is it a placid pond or is it wavy?
It all depends on how you hippity hoppity and rip it along, doesn't it?
Mm, mm.
I
Yes,
think
it is.
any
It's the
body of
chasm
water
of
will
the
do.
croak, isn't it?
What was that? What was that, sir? What sayest thou?
What sayest thou,
Uh,
Welcome.
Dr.
Welcome
Shub?
all.
yes. Well,
Welcome.
Happy New Year's,
shit.
gentlemen.
Happy New
Happy
Year's.
motherfucking goddamn motherfucking son of a goddamn New Year to you both.
23.
Yeah, is that what that is?
23.
Is
Hmm.
it a number? Or is
It's
it a
the
feeling
23rd anniversary of
of the
the year 2000 hoax.
year 2000?
Remember Y2K? You remember Y2K?
Oh,
How
yeah.
everything,
Oh
the
yeah.
whole world is gonna
It's
fall
gonna
apart.
fall.
Same
Oh,
thing in
oh, dude,
2012.
it
Everybody
kind of
was
did.
like,
Kind of did.
it was
Sure,
the
I mean,
beginning of the
yeah.
end.
Or was it the end of the beginning? And now
Hey,
it's
when I
sort
met
Oh,
of
you
in the
guys,
middle.
it came back together. All right, started to come
Right.
back together. I was like, okay, humans are cool again. I'm not gonna go crazy, misanthropic. There's some life left here. This
Well,
planet isn't fucking barren.
just to be contrary, Matthew,
Yeah.
I would have.
What did you say? You.
I'm going to. Look
interject.
what you did this to yourself. It's not me. I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't have.
Oh.
But you bring it on yourself.
Thanks for the pocket mirror. It's just like, oh my god, I carry it with me everywhere. This is so beautiful. Oh my god. Mm. There. There you guys get to see my face. Put some light on the
Yes.
subject.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's
Where were
good.
you
No.
on the night of New Year?
What was that music in the beginning? It sounded like
Yeah,
Soviet jazz or
that's your
something.
jam. Oh,
That.
Soviet jazz. That's even better.
Very
Yeah.
fitting.
There's something about it. Yeah. That's me playing something on
Keith?
a little synth in the garage,
Yeah.
and
Nice.
Reggae vibes. Reggae
yeah,
vibes.
Caleb was playing guitar, and that's
Yeah.
Radish Rob on
Little,
drums.
little minors, like the Judy chords.
Very cool.
Yes.
What's
I
that called?
like
Add nine? Add something?
yeah, nine chords, six chords,
Yeah.
13s,
The funky
11s.
shit.
Yeah, flat nines are cool too.
Hmm.
Crunchy. Some people call them crunchy. Uh,
And you can do like what was it?
I like the
You said
crunch.
the Mixolydian and the Dorian over top of that, pretty good.
yeah, you can throw Dorian.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Dorian,
Dorian fits. But like Phrygian too. Also, when you get
Phrygian.
that minor nine, then you're into Phrygian territory. You're into the Havaraba. You're into like the Jewish
Ah, yeah,
scales as well.
the eastern side of the
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
the eastern
It's
side. The
yeah.
sitar. Ravi
Dude.
Shankar.
Oh,
that's
Those
guys,
quarter tones. What's up?
yeah.
mm,
I was watching a Dweezil Zappa guitar thing, and he made this guitar that has the top three, the low three strings have frets, and the bottom three strings are fretless. Have you seen it?
I have not seen it. Is that Frank Zappa's son?
Dweezil, yeah, Dweezil. You
and
remind me of that.
Moon Unit, I think,
Is the
is the
is the
daughter.
daughter? Yeah,
Yeah.
Moon Unit and Dweezil.
Ah,
Yeah.
you know.
He was the original Elon Musk naming his child a collection of arbitrary letters and numbers.
Hey,
Maybe it's
you
because the child is a clone and that's the model number that it legally
Maybe.
bears.
you brought up
Yeah.
something really interesting to me because I want a microtonal guitar. So Alex, why do you
What's up?
think it is that humans uh well, we're Western scale. I am. Brought up in that world where what's pleasing to my ear and relaxing emotionally to me is not those microtones, but in the Eastern side of the world, wouldn't it be would they be relaxed by those, or like You know what I mean? Like nursery rhymes, the way that we speak, we're talking, or our mother sings to us. What's up with that? What's up with the microtonal thing being so dissonant to us? Because is just programming or what? What do you think?
That's a great question. I don't know. I don't know.
What?
But I know that standard is 440, and that's been going on for a while, maybe for about 50, 60 years.
Well, that's
Did
frequency.
Rockefeller have
Yeah,
something
yeah,
to do with that?
I don't
yeah.
know.
I mean, that's another interesting point too, is the frequency. But yeah, but
Standards and tuning, dude.
Yeah,
frequency is important. Yeah, too.
because so many artists opt out of standard tuning and they detune, to a different scale or just like a couple strings. There's something
Sure.
Yeah.
about that. It's very liberating.
E
Or if
flat,
you want
E
to,
flat feels rad.
yeah,
It just reminds
agreed.
me of like
Beatles used it.
music that I listen to. You know, like I have that orange guitar I showed you, the new one I built. That's in E flat. I
Yeah.
keep that E flat,
Oh,
and
nice.
other stuff comes out.
Yeah,
Sure.
I pulled Jimi Hendrix
Sure.
sticks. You know, I'm like,
nice.
boom. You know,
Yes.
Paul
The fifth.
McCartney was a fan.
so yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
He played
It's a
yesterday in E
great
flat.
key.
Yesterday,
Oh
yep.
yeah.
Also, what's that other one? She's so heavy, or is that in the
Oh,
D standard? It
that's
might
such
be
a good
even lower.
song. What a great jam song,
Fucking A, dude.
right?
Yeah,
Takes you to a
love that
place.
song. She's so
What do you think it was about?
heavy. Uh, I think it's like I think it's a metaphor about relationships
Yeah,
and emotions between two humans being heavy, not necessarily like a woman.
I know. It's
Because
not about
he does say
obesity.
I want you so bad," but I think what he's like trying to
It's
hit on is
driving
that
me
like
mad.
it's
It's
fucking
driving
hard,
me.
man. It's hard like wanting someone to be in a relationship. Like it's fucking heavy, the weight of it, you know.
Yeah, everything that comes with it, right?
It's
Yeah. How
hard
was
to
your day,
handle.
Alex?
High maintenance. But maybe it's about liberty. Maybe it's about
Mm,
Lady Liberty. I
yeah.
want liberty. I want you so bad, but she's so heavy. The Statue of Liberty is heavy. Like
I did a remote
that's
viewing session on the Statue of Liberty. It came over in cases and was assembled. And when it was assembled, it was as bright as a penny, just like bright, like fucking copper bright, like shiny, glinted off the harbor, Ellis Island, like a fucking star, dude, on a sunny day.
Did you
well.
say remote viewing session?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I heard
yeah,
too. I'm waiting for that part.
Yeah,
That
this was
sounds
the
interesting.
info that you acquired
yeah.
through the
I was
session
given a
itself.
remote viewing session. That was the target. I didn't know it was the target, but
Oh,
and it was
whoa.
revealed to me afterwards what it was. But all I could
Uh-huh.
see was this. I put my hand on it. It was. I said it was too heavy. I can't move it. It's too heavy. It. I thought it was a cannon because it smelled like brass or copper. I could see the
Wow.
color. I could smell the metal. I said I said piece by piece, and I kept saying that over and over and over. And then I kept feeling about war. I kept thinking it was something to do with war, but actually, truthfully, it was a sign of peace of war, right? Between an allyship between France and
France.
yeah, and it was so it was shipped over, and I even drew a picture. I drew a picture during that session, which is a gestaltic information. It ended up
Uh-huh.
being an upside down lady's hand holding a torch, which I couldn't describe
Whoa.
it. I couldn't see what I was drawing. So that's where the right brain goes. See, the right brain goes
Uh-huh.
to a place where you don't
It
know
also
what you're.
inverts the image.
Yeah, it exactly. Yeah, so my logic brain
Wow.
couldn't comprehend. So when you have a good like a person leading you through a session, they can steer you towards what you're like the without giving you information at all. It's like there's this whole thing. But yeah, it was really cool. It was really interesting to feel. I thought I was in a museum. too,
Uh-huh.
which was funny because there's a museum in the bottom now.
You used to be
I
able to
was
go
like,
up to the very top
yeah,
to like the
yeah,
torch
yeah.
for some time.
Me and Lori went there when we were in New York, and I just had this experience, uh, just staring up at it, just like wow, wow. It was all like patinaed green, and but it just being there just gave me chills. Man,
That's
brains are
interesting,
fucking
man.
crazy, dude. Brains are weird, man.
The
Brains are
fact
weird,
that
dude.
that's possible, remote viewing, and the fact that the
Yeah.
military put millions and millions of dollars to train remote viewers, like forgot his name,
Oh
Ingo
yeah,
Swann. Ingo Swann. He wrote plenty of books about it. I mean, he was a
Yeah.
psychic who was like
Ingo
helping
Swan.
the New York police. He was helping them like solve murders and shit. And then the government recruited him for remote viewing programs, and there was
Yeah,
there's
some people
multiple
are
operators.
have that I'm not going to say this is a neurological thing, but if you're wired to be less likely to receive um let's see, how do I put this? Like he proved that you can access that, like everyone has intuition in their brain. Let's just call it intuition, but
Yeah,
we'll
agreed.
generalize with a word. But let's just he demonstrated that if in the right circumstances, the human brain has always been capable of this since the dawn of time. Yes, certain
Yes.
people are basically don't have a filter. They don't shut it off. It's open. It's wide open, and some people can actually reach in and access and become more familiar in that space to use both sides of their brain simultaneously. Are
Hmm.
very gifted. Um, can turn it on and off at will and things of that nature. I would imagine not maybe
Yeah.
not at will, but and even Ingo I think was like, yeah, you can't you don't really you're not in control of your the best way that the guy who got me into it described it was that your left brain's like the big brother and your right brain's like the little brother. It's like, come on, let's go. And then your right brain's telling you, don't do that. That's not right. Don't go there. That's bad boy. Put that down. And your right brain's just like, what's that? And it's walking towards it, like a baby. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. The left
So
brain creates the narrative, or at least
yeah,
it tries to make sense of things, and sometimes it rushes to create a narrative because it's the
yes,
sense-making aspect.
right. And that's why people
It,
jump to conclusions.
meaning.
It's not just a mat on Office Space.
One is more abstract, the other one like jumps to create meaning. It's fascinating.
Yeah,
yes, well, that's interesting. Like one is inhibitory and the other is exploratory as well.
right. And it's
Like how
all
do you know
automatic.
what to go towards, what to
It's
go
all
away
like
from?
just built in, right? It's crazy.
I don't
And
know.
you're right. You're right.
Well,
But
Some
yeah,
see,
some
that's
people it's
what.
stronger than others. Some people
Yeah.
just like, and they often don't recognize that the information that they're getting might be like useful or meaningful. Sometimes they just like it comes to them and they externalize it, and it could be of psychic meaning or value. I was talking to my father-in-law a couple of days ago, and he was telling me the story how like what was it about? But he said something to his wife, and it came true like maybe 15 years later, like to the T. Something about like she was asking him like when are we gonna build a house, or when are we gonna get a car or something, and he was like when the road is paved, right? And they basically when they
He
drove
said that
they
instantaneously. He said that without thinking,
instantaneously
and
without
that's what I'm
thinking
talking
he
about.
did it, and he didn't think anything of it, and then
No
years
left brain.
later he drove back in that car to their house, and the
Yeah.
road was paved, and it was paved on that like same day that
Right.
he brought the car back. It's
Yeah.
pretty interesting.
Yeah. No. So what that is time is non-linear. Okay, it's a surface of water. Okay, and
Mm.
that moment was a stone that got dropped, and he was feeling the ripples of waves coming backwards. If you want to say backwards, or forwards, or leftwards, or this ways, he just got the ripple, right? And then
Yeah.
he realized that was what the ripple was when he got to the source of the drop where it dropped in. But that, you
Or
know what I mean?
or when he
Wherever
caught
it's
up
dropped
to it,
in is
yeah.
not time, but we call it time. We call it time because everything must regenerate, you know, like a
Linear.
frickin' yeah. Um, you know what? You know what was interesting about that experience? If you want to talk about that for a second, it was the remote viewing is different stages. The training, Ingo and all everybody put in place different stages to it. Don't
Okay.
ask me because I don't remember because my left brain isn't my strong suit. So I don't care to remember like academic stuff. But what I remember was that like at certain levels, then you start receiving different things during a session. So
Uh-huh.
you're not supposed to receive tastes, smells, even colors, or what is called gestaltic information till way up there, like level 4 or 5. And I
Uh-huh.
remember on my first 10 sessions, I was getting all of those things, which was
Really?
why my friend was really interested in keeping pushing me into it. But I thought that was interesting because like I'm like, well, I'm I thought of it like this. I go, I feel like what's the difference between using your imagination and creating art and accessing things that are out there? Because out there is here. I mean, there's no separation between it. Um, but but it's not like I'm like sitting here thinking like, oh, I can all of a sudden just know what either of you are thinking. No, that's not how that works. It's not.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It's not how that works. But the idea of the concept that you are able to is interesting to me. You know, it's interesting to me.
Very
What?
interesting.
Yeah, if you could induce this state regularly,
Uh-huh.
willfully, would you be creating reality if you're seeing it, or would you
No, no,
be
no,
just the first one to report it?
You'd be
no.
exploring it.
Alcohol numbs your left brain. Okay, it
Okay.
numbs your all of your what is it lobe, the frontal lobe or wherever the fuck
Prefrontal
your
cortex, yes,
prefrontal
your
cortex. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
And that part is what you do. You actually need to turn
executive
off in
function.
order to remote view, like in a way, like is what I was told. Um,
Right, because you'd be pulling in, you'd be making responses with your body to stimuli in the present environment
right.
versus the astral environment. I guess that's the
Yes.
way I understand it anyway.
Yes. Because if you receive a vision, you see it, but you have no idea what word to describe it, or color, or shape. But I was able to use to for just for fractions of seconds be able to describe it, but I had no idea what it was. You know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
I'm not saying that,
Right. You
I
didn't
just
have the
had
symbolic word, but you
right.
could describe it
Yeah.
in a
You have
neutral
the
sort of way.
info, maybe
Everybody has gut
pieces of the
feelings.
info.
That's what that is. That's what that's for. It's to keep you alive.
Hmm.
It's a survival instinct, and we just forgot how to use it, or I mean, utilize it daily. You know what I mean?
You
We
know,
rely on technology to do that for us. Like people talk about the weather, but did they look in the sky and use their senses and you know look out at a cloud and really use their intuition, or did they just look at a nap and say, okay, it's going to rain this week? You know what I mean? We're forgetting. We've trained ourselves away from
Yes.
it, and
yeah.
also
Yes.
with each other, because that's actually the main thing is to connect with each other with it, with your
Yeah.
intuition.
People aren't relying on their intuition as much because they have all this data at their fingertips. They have all these measuring tools that they're relying on. You know, the first time I heard about astral projection, I heard that it was used by shepherds to find lost sheep, or
Right.
at least that was And yeah, I mean, imagine
Yeah.
how important the dream state was hundreds of years ago when you're living at the mercy of nature. Nature is beautiful, but it's not kind, you know?
Well, we are
It,
nature. We're not living
yeah,
at the mercy of it. We're just living. You know, and
yeah.
that's like the crazy thing is we thought we had to push. We had to push. We just have to coexist. You know, like
At some point, we had to rely on our intuition to survive,
Hmm.
and
yeah,
and then and then people started planting fields. You know how
yeah,
wheat. There's that book how wheat domesticated humans. I think it was
Sure.
by that.
the fields of humans.
Yeah, yeah, because I mean you
So
can't
my
go
brain goes to
anywhere
these weird
if you
places.
have
I just have to
surplus. You
daydream.
have to
Yeah,
once you have the fields, you have to tend to the fields, and once you have the
yeah,
fields, you're gonna have surplus, and then if you have surplus, you're gonna have to protect the surplus. Then you have to create
yeah.
weapons, and then you have to create
Humans
walls and
become the
cities.
commodity. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Is it better to be nomadic? I mean,
I
in
think
some
humans
ways,
work better that way. I mean, humans work together. It doesn't mean humanity is going to work better because we're going to keep
yeah.
fornicating and creating. But I wanted to say something also because Mr. Sagittarius over here, Mr. Week of the Independent. So love is vulnerability, and being in a relationship is intuition. That's all it is. It's your right brain connecting with someone else's right brain, and it's incredibly powerful. It will fucking take you on a journey, and when it gets taken away or broken apart, it's hard to even want to even fucking get close to that shit ever again. You know what I'm saying? Like fuck it, I'm having a hard enough time dealing with just me, you know, and a whole other person, right? Am I right, Nick? I'm not saying that I'm telling you
You're
that's where
so
you're
full of
at.
shit, man.
You're so full.
Man.
Listen here. I need representation. All right? Get back in the courtroom.
Hey, no,
Two youths. Two
you're
youths.
right. You're right. You're right. Like, what is a Ute? No, you're right in the sense that a relationship involves a language that isn't explicit, as
Yeah.
well as explicit communication.
Happiness
Right? I
can
mean,
trump fear, dude. And I'm happy if happiness trumps fear
yeah, because people
or loneliness,
reflect
whatever.
what they see around them. So if you
Yeah.
want the people around you to be happy, you are happy, and that reflects onto them, and they, in a way,
Yeah.
it's hard not to be happy around a happy person unless you're really miserable. And then that person can make you slightly more miserable in the moment by directing their happiness specifically at you and tormenting you with their happiness. And then they cause they like, come on, man, it's all right, like
Yep.
let's go have a beer. Tell me about how terrible it is for you.
Right.
I want to
Right.
hear. I want to hear you tell
It
me.
drains
And then
you.
like
You're
this is like
you're
drain it,
empathy.
drain it. Go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah,
And it's
because you
like,
love animals, man. You got a high empathy, and I know that about you. I know that about you. But I'm just saying, it's like crazy. That humans run towards each other. They connect. They spiritually and intuitionally connect. But then you have these groups of people that don't believe that psychic power is possible when they're fucking living it every single day of their life. Like when you fall in love and you answer each other's, finish each other's sentences. Come on.
uh,
There's the difference between familiarity and just like
I
okay,
don't know.
so
I could
we're
finish my family members' sentences, and I wouldn't say I've fallen in love with them.
no, it's not it's not always love. It's connectivity.
Oh
You've
yeah,
opened yourself
sure,
up to connect with this
sure,
human.
sure.
That's
Okay,
like
okay.
quantum entanglement as well, too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Spending enough
Yes.
time with somebody that it almost like it has an impact on you, or there's some sort of entanglement.
Mm-hmm.
It's
And
Is it?
possible. It happens.
I love that phrase, quantum entanglement. Doesn't that just sound like like really juicy?
yeah, it sounds cool. It sounds really snappy. I think that's why it's getting
It.
really popular. It's the most
Oh,
famous
probably. Yeah.
non-existent thing that people like to talk about.
I
It's the
There's some studies
it's
on it.
incredible. It's so irrational and it's
There's some
impossible to
studies on it.
prove, unfalsifiable, and Yet,
Hey, that's philosophy in a working in working for like that's philosophy at work right there.
We
Is
should check if
yes.
there are any public like studies on quantum entanglement, because I remember reading about some between mothers and children, and something about their children feeling pain or being in pain, like were very far away from the mothers, and the mothers reacting
hmm.
biologically at the same exact time that their children experienced the pain.
Yeah, I had a line in a poem about in the womb that never break the umbilical cord that never breaks, and I believe that, dude.
Interesting.
When you spend a
Well,
long time inside of a human being, like
Yeah,
there's a lot of spiritual, intuitional shit that's happening there.
it's a
It's not just
structural link
biological.
there.
It's not
If
just biological.
one human comes out of
Yeah,
another human, there has got to be a connection there long term
right.
because they're a part of that human, or they came out of them,
And
or they
then
were
we
built
have to
using.
right. We have to talk about proximity because
yes.
proximity is important in this conversation. Okay.
Proximity,
So, for
yes.
Yeah,
example, to give you an example, you go to a concert. Everybody's there to see the band, and everybody's there to feel good and see the band, but they don't know each other. But then when the vibration begins and they're all starting to vibrate and hum and then the song comes and they're ready, they're connecting, boom, and you can feel it and everything is rising. That's what we're trying. I would love to see
that's
happen on
entrainment.
a
That's
smaller
called
scale, more.
entrainment.
Entrainment,
Yeah,
right. Like
Yeah, because
clocks in a room will, physical clocks will end up clicking to exactly the same time. Eventually, they all get
yeah.
on the same. That's a
I
little
hate that
weird.
word crowd mentality. That you like
Yeah.
it's like a like the mob. I don't like that. 'Cause that's putting a negative spin on what our brains are just trying to do naturally, you know? But that's true. That's what happens. Like we revolt.
well,
We need to
here's another thing.
revolt.
Here's another thing to take a look at. You know,
Ooh,
with
revolting.
females and menstrual cycles and how sometimes
Isn't
they sync up. Like
that crazy?
they sync up. There's an alpha female and
Uh-huh.
the other females sync up to that female if they're like menstruating. Like and
So you tell me
sometimes
by
females
that
just
there isn't
sync up to the
astrology.
moon.
You tell me that there's no astrology, but that's a scientific fact. It's like you
No,
can't
that could be entrainment. Yeah, that could be biological
really.
entrainment because it could be
So,
hormones
But you
triggering
just said
other
it, the moon.
hormones.
You just said it, the moon, bro.
I
It's
did,
magnetic.
and that's happened very. I mean, hey, it affects the stock market, and planetary
Hmm.
bodies definitely affect
Really?
the
What do you
themes
mean?
that we experience. Oh
What do you
yeah,
mean the
dude.
stock
Okay,
market? Like,
so
tell
on
me more
full
about that.
moon, okay,
Yeah.
so on days when it's a full moon, right? Police know that there's going to be way more activity and like
Right.
violence and stuff because the veil is thin. You know, I had a cousin who worked
lift the
at
veil,
a
yes.
prison, and every full moon they knew to prepare because like they knew people were gonna go off their rockers, and and it just corresponded every single
Yeah.
time. Like they were
Mm.
aware that this was a repeating phenomenon.
Huh.
You know, the veil is thin. The
That
veil is
happened to
thin
me at
on
the
those
painted
days.
house, man. You pointed that out to me. I didn't
Yeah,
realize that shit. And
I remember
also,
that.
I find myself writing a
It could have been
poem
the paint too.
when there's a full moon. It's a weird thing. You're right. Absolutely correct.
Yeah. There's like a psychic fluidity, right? Where
Yeah.
it feels like
We start vibrating a
it's
little bit more than we
more.
normally do, whether it's good or bad, or forwards or backwards, or up or down, or in or out.
I don't know if it's vibrating or what it is, but there. I
It's
wonder
like
if there's
it scrambles
statistics
all the
to back it
antennas,
up.
scrambles all of our antennas
It's the signals
magnetically.
are strong, definitely.
Mm.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
It could be. Could have to do with the electromagnetic field.
Yes, now we're back to heavy again.
Well,
Something's wrong with the
okay.
Earth's
Yeah.
electromagnetic pull.
So everything's a wave, baby. Everything's a wave,
Sympathetic vibrations, right? Right.
right?
Personality
Is it a
mirroring
wave?
is in a way syncing up of personalities
Sound
like
wave, light wave,
dogs. liking logs looking like they're people,
Yeah.
people in relationships looking like one another. Affinity is a proxy
People
for
looking
beauty.
like their dog that they choose.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. All of these things.
Oh yes.
Even people making avatars. You want to make an avatar online that looks like you in some way, that encapsulates you, even if it's in an abstract sense and not a like a one-to-one physical sense.
Yeah,
Which is
I found that
interesting.
really a fascinating thing with the history of art too, is that we keep drawing ourselves, human forms, eyes, faces,
Mm-hmm.
a representation of what it is that we are trying to understand. Like we're the most egotistical being or creature. Sorry about that. I have
From
the Japanese gangs are racing out here.
Yeah, Yakuza.
Yakuza. Thank you. I was trying to think of the name, man. Thank you for giving me that.
I got you. Yeah, they're Tokyo drifting out there.
Akira 2 is being filmed out here.
Fast and Furious 29.
Yes.
Dude, I want to ride a Tron bike, dude. After watching Tron, dude, I want to ride one of those.
Yeah, that would
Where do you
be
rent
fun.
one of those?
Yeah, where do you rent?
Dubai. Probably.
Yeah,
Dubai.
Tron bike.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's where we got to go to rent Tron bikes in the
Yeah,
desert.
if they're anywhere, you know. Yeah, I'm sure
Dubai.
they make it glass so you can slide across it on the dunes. They just like electrify it somehow. They use that
Someone told
lightning
me,
process.
Dubai is the biggest skiing lift thing, indoor skiing thing in the world.
Yes.
One of you told me that.
They're also creating land. They're creating islands
Out
just
on-
out of the blue.
And they're sinking.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Oops. Ski Dubai. Enjoy the snow, meet the penguins, and learn to ski. Yeah, let's.
How much does it cost to keep that place cold? I want to know. Like, how much oil money are they throwing at that thing?
Yeah,
They're
you want to
changing the
talk.
weather. They're making it rain a certain amount
That's
of
like
days
the
a
Kate
year.
Bush song, "Cloud Bursting." That's what they're doing. Ski Dubai.
Ski Dubai.
We know cool, literally. Get fucked.
Dude, who
Get
came
your
up with
burr on. Seriously,
that?
who's doing this? Snow
They
Park
hired
Fun at
some
negative.
writer.
Ready to chill?
They
No, I'm
hired
not.
some
Should I just sell
copywriter.
my soul and get into
Penguin
advertising?
encounter?
Come on, guys.
Dude,
They're
meet a peng friend. Make a new peng friend? Who talks like this?
Oh, everyone. They love it. They love to
I
be turned into a child. That's what
in
advertising
Dubai.
Snow cinema, you guys.
is. Oh, shit. In 3D, probably?
Hit the slopes, snow every day, guaranteed. Even if you're a
Guaranteed.
cartoon like this fucking loser.
It's guaranteed. The consistency is guaranteed. Scientifically.
You can get lessons. All right, how do we?
Yeah.
Let's. What do you want to do? You want to meet
Full-scale
penguins? You
medical
want
site on site, right? Like hospital. If your kid bips it, breaks its collarbone, we've got a medical facility.
All right, so if we if we plan a bonsai trip
Yeah.
with, we're gonna go. We don't need snowboard lessons. We're gonna do a slope. We're gonna do a slope, and you know what? We'll fly private. We'll fly out this weekend. We'll
You know what I
hit it
like about the word
Saturday.
slope? Is it like I can't in my brain I can't decipher like I know it could be a really steep one, but then I also know that it could be a gentle one. Like I like that it's just like this gray area where when I think of the word slope, I don't think of it as like up or down. I think of it as like whatever I need it to be.
It's like
in comparison to my emotion.
it's like when Eugene calls a hike a walk.
Ah, right.
Yeah, yeah. It turns out to be 8 miles.
Like it's just a walk.
Hey,
Yeah,
that's
it's
not
An
much.
8
My
mile
dad
walk.
makes a joke every time he comes to Seattle. He's like, "Yeah, you always say just five minutes over there, 10-minute drive that way." It's like ends up being like 25 minutes. He's like, "Yeah, you say everything's 5 minutes away."
Well, traffic.
Yeah,
How many people
But
are,
it-
I mean, are touring and tour becoming tourists in Dubai? I know my
this just
parents
makes me
went.
sick.
They went to the
This just
Burj
makes me
Khalifa
sick.
and shit. They
It's
said the
like
lobbies of hotels smell nice.
it makes me sick because I feel like yes, these humans who live in the desert deserve to experience snow, but like at the same time, I'm like, fuck off. At the same time, right? Like, why? Why? Oh wait. Oh, I know. Money.
Contrast. People want contrast, man. People who live in Alaska, they vacation in Hawaii.
You're the sweetest
And
devil
people who live in
advocate I've
Hawaii
ever met.
probably want to go skiing, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Sorry, go ahead.
That's true.
he says you're the
That's why I
sweetest
love you.
devil's advocate. Yeah.
I've
Uh,
ever met in my life. That's why I love you. You're just like, yeah, but check it out, man. Check it out.
Somebody's got to
And
do it
you're
if
right.
Eugene's
If I
not
lived
here,
in
you know?
Dubai, I'd be like, fucking, I want to go skiing. If I was in Dubai, like it's hot as
Yeah,
fuck here.
penguins.
I get it.
That's
I'm
what
over
you'd
here in
want to
the
see.
rain.
uh,
Sorry
yeah,
about
I
the
mean,
swear
if
words.
you,
This is a PC podcast.
yeah, this is not for kids. Everyone knows
Yeah.
that. And just so
And just so we're clear.
just so we're clear,
Just so
under
we've had
Section
enough of the
107 of the
clearness.
Copyright Act, yeah, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research, which just qualifies for more than one. Okay, thank you.
So we don't get any Vamp Daddy tonight because
He's probably
excuse
he's
me.
baby daddy.
The
He's
last
baby
thing
daddy,
I
right?
heard was, "Oh,
Yeah.
parenting's easy. It's sleep that's the problem." Oh, hell, that one will bite him in the ass. I didn't want to say anything. I don't want to burst his bubble, but I was hoping. I want to see the fucking rings around his eyes. That's what I want to see right now with a dad.
Ring around
Love
his
it.
You know,
eyeballs.
at the
Oh, this is
eight
fucking
month
easy.
mark.
It's just a walk, right? It's just a
Yeah,
walk. Fucking
2 weeks into it. I mean, he might say that, but
talk to me in
like
6
wait a
months,
couple
bud.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the first year
True.
is probably going to be just like low grade, sleep deprived, like wartime
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah, it's no. There's going to be a tipping point where the dopamine gets overtaken by the lack of sleep and the lack of all things that replenish your body's situation, and you're gonna.
Hmm.
Dopamine's what's keeping that baby alive right now. I'll tell you that much.
Oxytocin.
Thank you,
Oxytocin.
thank you. That's the word I was going for.
Oxytocin, yes,
Human contact.
vasopressin, yeah, the skin to skin
Yeah.
contact,
All
very
those
important.
hormones.
Colostrum,
He-
hopefully, if Amanda was down with that, because that's really super duper important.
Yes, I believe that there is involved.
Oh, you've been in contact. Have you guys gone down to the
Yes.
hospital?
No, they're out. They're home. They're home.
Oh,
They're home.
Doing
Cool.
well.
Sounds like they were at the hospital a couple days though, right?
Yes.
Everything went okay. Everything went smoothly.
Yeah, I mean, everyone looked
wasn't
fine.
like a
Everyone was up
C-section,
and
no?
around.
Okay, good.
well, don't spoil all the juicy
Never know.
details. If there's stitches and all that shit, we need it from Eugene's lips.
Well, I
Yeah.
can't say because snitches
I
get
mean-
stitches.
And hey, he didn't mention the baby's name, but I figured it out because he posted it
No.
on social media, and my sister
No.
told me.
Don't
My
you
sister
dare.
told me. He went to
Don't you
social
fucking
media.
dare.
I heard from my
I will
sister
slap
on
you.
social media. I'm not going to tell you, but I'll let him.
My-
I'll let him pronounce it.
My friend said his sister said on social media that his
Yeah.
Okay,
baby
let me
was
hear
called.
It's hearsay.
Did he follow our like advice with the whole half Romanian?
But
half
it starts with an
Japanese?
A. It starts with an A, and it ends
A-N?
with a Y
It's
A-N.
or an I.
it's basically a Ukrainian
A
city.
or
Okay. Just okay. Give me a minute. Yeah. An E
use your
sound at the
intuition,
end.
Matt. You got this.
Yes,
Let's
remotely
see.
view the name on the birth certificate if you can.
I'm a Gary. I'm a
Yeah.
Terry.
I'm envisioning it right here. I'm envisioning the name.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it too. What if both of us are thinking it, then you have to think it.
Make
I'm thinking it into your
make
mind
sure
right
we're
now.
spelling it right. There's
I'm
double
spelling it the
letters,
way Eugene would
right?
spell it. So all bets are off.
Is there a vowel
It's
that's
okay.
supposed to be like a is there a Y that's supposed to be like a I or something like mixed next to another?
Oh,
There's like
well,
a something in English that doesn't belong.
that's pretty good.
There's something
Not bad, man. Yes, yes to that. I at least from
like a Y or
what
something.
I can see.
There's like an M or an N next to something else that doesn't belong. Feels like M and M. I don't know,
Maybe
man.
the way Eugene says it, but
Yeah, you really never know. You never know. It's a carnival. Well, while
I got some
you're
books
guessing,
for the child.
oh, do you? Very nice. Yeah, some reading would be
Yeah,
good. Also,
Ne-
like just
can't
When we
hearing.
guess. Can't guess. That's not how it works.
You must guess. You must
Yeah.
guess. I have to grab my laundry. I'll be back. Ariel, Aramel.
Ariel, aerosol,
Hey,
Hey,
Eris,
you got the first part.
airy,
Go on.
Arigiri, Arigami, Arab, 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 Arab. Is there an R near the end? Arm near your Marie? I don't know. I can't.
Um,
I don't see it. I got
there is
nothing.
an R. There is an R. There's an R, but it's not near the end.
Yeah.
It's near the beginning.
Airy, Air, Irma, Arma, Ariama, Arinamana. I can't. I can't.
You're getting close, dude.
I
You're
can't,
getting
man.
close.
I got nothing.
It's impressive. There's two.
It's weird. It's a weird one. I've never seen this before
It
in my
is a
life.
weird name.
I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
My feeling
I
tells
don't
me
think I
I've
have
never
either.
read this grouping of letters before in my life. That's why I'm mumbling.
It's pretty odd. It's
Uh-huh.
an odd grouping, and I don't know. It seems like Amanda's influence to
Is there
some
like a
degree,
Z
and
next to
Eugene's
a
like,
fucking? It'd be funny if it. Yeah.
no Z,
Cool.
but it's a
No,
pretty
no, I know. Yeah,
uncommon
I know.
name.
But like, it's like there's like it's like a vowel next to a where it shouldn't be. It's probably like foreign sounding too, right?
Well, we'll see how Eugene pronounces it. That's what I'm dying to hear, really.
Well, Eugenisms, yeah. Do we lose Nikolai?
Hey, he went to get his laundry.
He went to go tinkle
Let him do his thing.
to air out his dirty
Do his
laundry.
laundry. I don't know,
Yeah.
something like that.
So you
Something like
already
that.
got the
Hey,
the flat arm thing?
the
Dude.
quad holder.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I got a
Nice.
soldering mat,
Is it
a heat
cool.
resistant soldering mat.
Yeah, so it's got the little like squares that you can put like nuts and bolts and shit in.
Yes. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah. Cool. Those are so the I don't know if you zoomed in and got the name, but that brand has a really heavy base, which was really nice about it.
Uh
So
huh.
like
I see.
won't topple over if you have like a heavy component. It could probably hold up a whole chassis, maybe even. Yeah.
Wow. And
Very
strong
useful.
magnets.
Well, yeah. No, I mean just the base itself weighs a lot, so the arms themselves, I'm not saying they could hold up a chassis, but the base, if you did find a way,
Ah,
you know,
I'm
cool.
excited, man. I've been
Send me a link
practicing
for
some
that too, because
soldering.
I asked my buddy about it. I was like,
Sure.
"Can you send me a link for that that mat that you had?" I just took a picture of it while I was there, but I just haven't looked.
Yeah,
Up
I think
yet.
it was like $27 on Amazon, and it
Yeah, you
came
said they were
pretty
not
quick.
too bad. Nice. So I nailed it
Hey,
with the
Echo.
basement. So tell me what your vision is, sir, and let's get it done.
Yeah,
I
well,
want to
my
hear
vision
this
is
thing.
so okay, so what it is, it's a 70s amp made by a brand. It's a hybrid amp made by Earth Sound Research. It's very
Solid
similar
state
to your
rectifier.
classic where
Okay.
yeah, solid state rectifier and
Right.
2 6L6 power section, right? And it's a
Right.
115. And it's in the case of like something maybe the size of a Fender DeVille, but it's a
Okay, so that
115, but
would
it's
be like
tweed.
the tweed era. Yeah, I was gonna say with just two of those, that's only like a 40 watt maybe or less supposed to be, or is it more
I'm
than
not
that?
sure. I mean, it's if it was fully tube, it would be 40 watts, but I think the fact that it's hybrid probably knocks it down a little bit, but
Mhm.
it sounds fairly similar to your classic, man, and the
Oh,
way it interacts. Like,
yeah, I always wondered what circuit that I could never really on no forum like the classic because people kind of said they were like a Fender twin, but I don't think they sound like a twin. And I also heard that they're supposed to sound like the Fender Classic was supposed to be like the Music Man's of the time. The preamp is like really similar
interesting.
to that, which I don't even know what that amp sounds like in terms of like all the old
Yeah, me
popular
neither.
ones.
But I think
But I
that
just
Earth
keep
Sound
hearing about
research
like
was actually based on the PV like circuit, classic circuit. It was that good of a
really,
circuit that it was
huh?
literally, yeah, it was made to sound
Well,
like it.
what I was trying to tell you about it that made me like, okay, all right, I'll keep this one tube app was that all the input options, bro, because you've got two
Mm-hmm.
channels or or basically two power stages. Let's think about it that way, but they're called channels: bright and normal.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you have parallel and series. So you can like
Yes.
cascade or split, and it changes the breakup, and it's
Uh-huh.
really interesting too. And you can do that all by foot switch. So like, for example, if you wanted like a super fuzz
Super
out
versatile.
tone, you could do the series, and you'd have one
And you
channel like cranked up, and then you could do the parallel input. You can actually switch them at will, the inputs, and then have that channel like turned down low just on parallel, so it'd be like a nice breakup. So like you can. It was kind of.
it's brilliant.
I feel
It's pretty
a lot
brilliant
going on
design
for an
actually.
amp. Yeah, I mean, PV stole from everybody, just like everybody steals from everybody. But like PV Hartley, I think his early music band amps or musician amps are fetching a pretty penny, and we got a few chassis, so maybe we should try to put those back together if we ever do find the golden stop button time.
Yes.
Hey, we were
And
talking about your
maybe we should
mom.
have Nikolai. Yes. We should have Nikolai come out to the storage unit and see if he has any advice for us on how to Tetris our
I
way.
think interest would be a better word. Do you have any interest in joining our uh, wild? It's like America's Funniest Home Videos, but it's just like one video of three guys going to a storage unit and deciding what to do next.
Two guys,
Three
one
guys.
storage unit.
Three guys, one
Three
storage
guys in a storage unit. What's
And
gonna happen next?
Who has
Find
the
out.
yeah,
keys?
it's true.
Three musicians stop playing around, start getting real.
Dude,
Yeah,
the gate code's not working. What's going on? Dude, watch out! It's gonna fall over. Is that a rat? Yeah.
Yeah, though that sounds cool, man. I like going to storage units. I like music stuff, and you guys are all right, so it should be fun.
That was a riveting
Yeah.
response. In fact, I'm sold. Like he's on the board right now, like chairman, motherfucker.
Yeah,
chairman.
for sure,
I'm in
for
a
sure.
chair already. I mean,
Yeah,
right?
he
So
is a
here's
chair, and
well,
he is a
let me
man.
give you a little
He's the
skinny.
chairman.
We got a hold of like a more than we probably should ever have got a hold of. Just a bunch of old chassis for old radios, amps,
Mm.
just chassis ripped out of like organs and old amps and radios from anywhere from the 40s, 50s to the
A lot of
70s. I would say,
resistors,
yeah, and
capacitors.
components. Like,
Mm.
so what we're trying to do is organize it, and then we're trying to ideally find a amp tech that wants to go in on it with us and like build the circuits on PCBs, and then we build like the enclosures for them. So like old amps that people want with actual vintage called VOS components. So like an old Fender amp, like the
The old stuff.
bass Tweedman, whatever. We build the whole thing with the original components from that era and sell it as just a clone, but it's a lot of work. So
Yes. All right. Have you thought about just spitballing here? Just playing
just
jazz.
spitballing.
Have you considered?
Yeah.
No, no. Have you considered putting a Raspberry Pi in that box and making like a portable PA system where you can plug in, an eighth-inch aux cable, or you know, like you have the vintage experience, you have the vintage quality, you have vintage equipment, but with a digital controller that's ultra reliable, and you could plug in different sounds. It doesn't have like
Yeah.
people don't want to get into old
The spin
equipment
chip, the
because it
FS1
requires
spin
a
chip.
lot of maintenance. Okay,
Yes,
the
you're right.
FS1. All right.
The FS something F something spin chip is basically just a program controller that you can do. Like all the digital pedals have it. It's a F something spin chip. And if you order like, so let's just say you want to build like a Alex, you would know because you're kind of more into pedals. Let's just say you want to build like an Earthquaker Devices Rainbow Machine. You need the pedal PCB. You also need this F1 spin
Hmm.
chip, whatever, which you can actually
FV1
program.
spin
FV1.
FV1 IC.
Thank you. Yeah, and then you program it with whatever the fuck you want. So it's just computer programming. So yeah, you could make this Raspberry thing if you use that spin chip, but you programmed it to route through a circuit of these old components to accept various inputs and out. So it'll have to have input stage, output stage. I don't know enough about electronics to make that happen, but it's a cool idea. I like that because there's a lot of audio files out there, that
Huh.
would they seem to want to have a tube preamp for their home stereo. Have you seen this? The
Yeah.
Oh
tube amp
yes.
like audio files for just for
I'm
home
one of
audio,
them.
not like guitar.
Yes. Yeah, you're talking to him.
Well,
And hey, Nikolai, we were able to, or I was able to acquire a whole bunch of tubes from Russia before the sanctions kicked in.
Ooh, wow.
Like, so we're
Okay.
sitting on a lot of like high quality tubes that are really difficult to find right now
Well,
as well.
yeah.
okay. Well, you've got how many? We're gonna have to look at the inventory and stuff, right? And like
Yeah,
Yep.
dude.
see what we
Right
have and
now
what we can
it's not
make out of it.
inventory. Right now it's like Tupperwares that need to be gone through. But most of the
So
components
it's okay.
are at Alex's house, like the stuff that's like that is clearly never been in like soldered into something. We tried to get all that
still
separated
in
out.
packaging. Like
Yeah,
we
it's
have
still even in
we have
packaging
boxes
somewhere.
and boxes
It's
of
called
like
NOS.
new old stock
Fucking-
resistors,
It's
capacitors,
Okay.
like
sexy.
stuff that is
It's
pretty
Dude,
desirable
this is
eBay
amazing.
Some-
landmine.
people actually.
Yeah.
Yes, this is desirable, actually. Do you know? Have you ever heard of Sonic Farm? It's a.
No.
Sounds like a place
a-
I'd like to go.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to pet the
Just have
animals
hedgehogs
there.
everywhere.
I mean, no, I wish they did have hedgehogs, but
Bet
it's.
you huskies love it there.
We had hedgehogs in Ukraine, and we'd feed them milk. They'd come out of the woodwork and just like drink the milk and then run back into the forest. This is the cutest thing ever. True story, bro.
I love it.
And if you could flip them over, you can pet their bellies.
Oh man,
Upside down
What a-
hedgehogs. That's going on the ban list.
upside down hedgehogs. Okay. Oh man,
Bel-
that's so
hedgehog
good.
belly. Hedgehog bellies. Hedgehog bellies. I like that better.
Hedgehog belly.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a fan.
Hedgehog
Uh,
bellies.
This.
Dude, Dude,
these guys,
yeah.
they. I recently acquired this,
Wow.
the to die for, or as some people call it, the 2DI for. It's this Pento Direct box. Very cool.
Nice.
Mhm.
Very
The
cool.
sound,
dude.
the sound is
We have the
amazing.
components
It's
to
very
go into
simple.
business. Find a manufacturer for the fucking chassis. Come on, Nick. Make it happen. And-
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is the manufacturer for Sonic Farm is a very nice Czech man named Boris, who is in
I love the name.
Vancouver.
so much.
Vancouver, British Columbia, which
Okay.
is where these are manufactured. And they're handmade.
Right.
So I feel
Ah.
like there
Yeah.
might be something
Duties
there
and
that can
taxes and
happen.
shit. Yeah.
Sure,
Right.
but he also has distribution. You know,
So
they
let me
they
read
have
this.
sales
Hold
on
on.
the
Let
site.
me zoom in. So this is a pentode, which a pentode is a part of a tube, right? Pentode, triode, cathode,
Mm-hmm.
buffered.
Yes.
Okay, so let's see here. So a creamier single pentode,
Different gain stage options.
different gain option. So what is this for? This is just a DI for what? Putting stuff into like a console
Anything. Anything.
Like-
master.
between your
It's like a
your
tube preamp
stereo and
essentially,
your-
right?
your-
Yes, it's giving you
Your speaker?
tube. It's a mono signal, obviously.
Okay.
But
Oh, I see.
Impart
Bass
fatness
player.
on
It's
top
like a bass-
in a very
it's like a bass
musical
player
way.
DI
It's gonna
and
it warms up the signal
yes,
Right,
yes,
and it saturates it a little bit.
Yeah,
That's why
definitely.
people love
tube
tubes.
pedals.
Yeah,
like
it's
tube
very
pedals.
thick.
Yeah.
It's like
I'll be right
it
back.
has
Robust.
it has a fullness to it, and it's
So what did you buy it for? What was your intention?
what's my use case for this particular device
Your use case?
is yes
That's-
is live sound reinforcement of microphones for live streaming, which is the case we're looking at right now.
Cool.
Although you don't hear it on the signal, but when I incorporate it into the signal chain of just the only thing is latency, right? Because if you do it digitally, if I apply a mixer, I have a Firewire mixer that takes signal to Logic in a Mac Mini and then comes back out and goes into the Blackmagic HDMI interface, which is USB-C connected to this Mac that's actually doing the streaming, and that
Okay, wait. You're giving
So
me an
that-
idea. So are you telling me that they haven't figured out how to make old analog parts not have latency with a digital interface
there's always
built in?
straight analog is always there's not going to be a delay. Not really, unless you have very long signal, like
Okay, right.
you're right. So it's not really a thing because it's electricity. So the impedance is really the only kind of delay you get, but you start to build in milliseconds when you have processing, and that comes in on the digital side. So the more
Right.
processing time, the more milliseconds it needs, like the more effects and stuff like that. So
Right.
compression and reverb, like the reverb especially, is very processor heavy, but
Uh-huh.
like
Okay.
the M1 processor does stuff pretty fast, so latency is like 30 to 80 milliseconds. Sometimes if I'm just using Logic straight into Logic and listening to it back, it's 15 milliseconds. So it's not
This is
bad.
a
But
great
when
product. This is a
Okay, so
really
tell me
great
so tell me
product.
yes,
what okay,
yes,
what so tell me
And
like
it's
this,
red, like your Sonic.
how many products are like this on the market? And what does
uh,
this do that is different than like other
that's a
products
good
like this?
that's a good question. Okay, this is one of the more expensive direct
Obviously.
boxes if you were to think
Yeah.
about it as a direct box, like because um,
Why is it
you
so
could get
expensive?
the cloud lifter, which is this. So this is
What
one channel. This is one channel of clean mic preamp, right? 25 decibels in line for $150, and these sound pretty nice, and it's just straight in the signal chain.
Yeah, I
But
mean I have a Focusrite. It's like I get the idea.
right, but
It's
this is a how do I best
tube.
put this? It's like having a this is the head of a studio
Uh-huh.
preamp that
There
is
you
like
go.
a very high
A rack.
quality mic
Yeah.
preamp that you would find in the rack of like a nice board, and it brings any mic it brings up to the level of the console, which is like to introduce low noise in a recording console. They're very dead, so they require a lot more power going in to
Yes.
get a clean signal. So this is
Right.
made to achieve the input signal at that level. So it maximizes the gain stage before recording, so it maximizes signal to noise ratio. So
And that's how you
it's
acquire high
So
fidelity.
right.
You
yes,
have
and
that
So
it's crazy.
output.
having old parts
Brilliant.
doesn't make this a viable product because old, well, not saying all, but old capacitors, like film, um, those aren't as reliable and things like that. So those wouldn't be want you wouldn't want to use those in something like this. What
Right.
all you'd want to use is like things like tubes, right?
Well, I mean, there. I can relate a story instead of saying something of my advice. I'll tell you something that somebody else said. Alan Parsons of the Alan Parsons Project, and the guy who mixed like Dark Side of the Moon. Was a recording engineer on that and worked at Abbey Road. He's a super pro guy. Uh,
Yeah.
Okay.
he
I
came
know
to
Alan.
one of
Yep.
my college classes. He was one of the guest speakers
Wow.
Nice.
for a media program, and people were like, "Oh, what software to use? What program with this, with that? Like, oh, do you prefer to use only like classic tape and stuff like that?" He's like, "No, actually, like I just use Nuendo. But really, it's whatever's for you. It's like whatever you like. It's
Yeah.
it's not about nobody's in the control room with you. It's great if you're trying to impress somebody who's in the control room, but really when you're listening to it, you can't tell how it was made, and that's the most important part is how it sounds when you listen to it. It's like,
Indeed.
Hey,
fuck
Indeed.
yeah, man, fuck
That's the
it's
yeah.
whole
true.
solid state
This
tube thing with me. It's like, does it sound good? Well, then it's fine. And
Yes, yeah, and I
and
think
this
that's the sound that people want is the thickness. They're like, oh, it sounds warm. It's like you can achieve those results with anything. I can get that sound with this kind of mic and that kind of amp in this kind of room, or I can do it with this mic and no amp in another kind of room with this post processing and that kind of stuff. So it's like
yeah.
there are many ways to get a kind of result, and just knowing and being able to describe the difference in the finished product is the key thing. Not to think about how it was made, but to think about the result you want to achieve and focus on that. That was like, to me, that was the most valuable thing in any of those classes I ever took. Was that like
Right.
that little fucking
Hey.
gem.
That's that's really on point and kind of synchronistic. I was telling Matt on our next, maybe next Wednesday or the Wednesday after that, um, I'd like to have a guest on who I did some work for just on Monday, and he's a sound engineer, and he used to be in New York, and he interned at Electric Ladyland Studio,
Nice.
and he worked there for a while, and he wants to. His goal is to kind of be a full-time sound engineer. Maybe he can contribute to this conversation and specifically about gear. Um, and he's an artist himself. I was telling Matt he's going to be doing an open mic at Cafe Racer on
Oh yeah.
next Thursday. Next Thursday at 6 p.m. If you guys want to join, I'll probably go out there and just. I'm trying to create some content for him to kind of boost or start up his sound engineering and business and stuff. So I've been doing some photos for him,
Yeah,
and
man.
probably will take some photos
I
of
wanted
him
to go
live.
with-
But his name
Yeah,
is Sven. His name is Sven, and
Please
we
remind
talked a
me,
little bit
like,
about
a couple times next week. because
sound.
I will just leave straight from work and
Yeah,
meet
we'll
you
do.
there. Yeah, that's,
We'll do, but we had very similar conversations during the shoot about, you know, like what his process is, and he's a very simplistic kind of guy, and he he has some great gear and has some good insight into the recording process, and maybe we can
I
pick his
mean,
brain about his
yeah,
thoughts on
like
things.
I'm glad that you're in the fold of this, Nick, because you know, my original idea was just like, okay, what we'll do is we'll actually take these old radios and just repair them, fix them, find someone who can reverse engineer the actual circuit the way it is, replace only what needs replacing, and turn it into a guitar amp, just as it is, just as it sits. Modify it if need be to
Convert.
not be a radio, whatever. Like bypass certain parts of it so that it's just got the EQ section, the input stage, the output stage, okay? And then
Yes.
learn through that process how to make an amp. Okay, blah blah blah. And then I was like, okay, well, we got all these parts. So let's buy these
Yes.
these
So many parts.
PCBs that people make. They're
Uh-huh.
PCBs for home DIYers to
Kits.
build these amps at home, like old Fender Bassmans or
Like these clones,
who accidentally.
desirable clones,
So they'll
because
order
an
those. They'll order brand new
original
parts.
like costs a
Right.
lot of money.
Yeah, so hand-wired original NOS shit.
And
is
people
just
are still after
it's
them.
just stupid money now. It's like stupid money, and it's like,
It's true.
you know. But if we can find somebody that would want to go into business to, I think the idea is like we have to find someone who wants to build something, but I think better than that, like
I know
what
a
we're
guy.
saying is to get an
I know a guy.
audiophile market, dude. The audiophile market as opposed to just the guitar music market, because
Well,
if
the internet's
yeah.
available, so I'm pretty sure we can access any markets. eBay is a great place to sell things. Like, I think if when you said like get an amp together, just put one together and have it function as a great that's a great first step. And if you make one, you can try and sell it and then move on to the next one. You could take pictures,
Yeah.
document the process,
Yeah.
do YouTube shorts and stuff like that.
And we have so much Tolex, like amp Tolex and like amp corners and stuff specifically to make amps. Like,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
But even
What if you
outside-
made
I
a
think-
custom amp and pedal board that packages everything for busking artists and single musicians to take their stuff? Like everything's in a case and it's got like a speaker on the outside. Like you prop it open, and it has the speaker on the front. It has like little
Dude,
things.
just like the old school.
and then
Yeah,
you just put
yeah.
you take your shit with you. and pop it up,
Yeah,
and people can.
I got one of those off Martin that I was just like, this just reminds, because it was one of those that got converted. Someone put a
Like a
70
little
solid state
suitcase.
amp in it, but
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
I love that little thing because
Sounds
it's like it
good.
sounds fucking awesome too. But so yeah, but you got me thinking about like the audiophile side of it, right? So actually making a product, not building amps, like actually using just the components, finding a manufacturer that
Custom.
wants to do the chassis, just trying to make one product that we could sell and find out what, we got to do inventory of all the components. That's a given. But
Yeah,
if we have an
that's the
abundance
first
of
step that
something that we
we've
know
been
we're not
working
gonna,
on.
use, like maybe
What
you can
what
find
we
somebody who wants to go up and make this one product, and we can all make a little money. That's, that'd be great.
I've I know two guys who are building amps and are willing to kind of sit down and chat with us about this, but one of them is
Yeah.
busy building his own drone right now. He used to be an RC car builder, and he's been kind of fixing and modifying some of my amplifiers, and he said he might be interested in doing this. He's also named Matt. I thought it was George, but apparently it's Matt. I fucked up and put George in my phone. I've been calling him a George for so long.
Georgie,
He's like, it's Matt.
grab
I'm
the
like, oh.
sailboat, Georgie. Grab the sailboat, Georgie.
Okay.
But
So this,
another option is finding the most desirable of the resistors and the capacitors, and going to amp
Yeah.
or pedal builders and selling them wholesale potentially for
No,
because
dude, because
I know no.
well, no, yes. If we need
Those,
money,
some of
but
those
right,
resistors are really
the bumblebee. I
desirable,
know the
and they're like
bumblebees,
20
all this
bucks a
stuff.
piece.
But we've gotta find someone that can show us what's what and who's and like what's an actual bumblebee and what's just what's made out of paper film, what's made out of ceramic, what's made, you know what I mean? What are we looking for? What's actually hot right now? And then yeah, then we'll decide because
Yeah.
if the longer we hold on to it, the more desirable it becomes. So
Hey, what if we take or we call Guitar Maniacs in Tacoma? They know guys who know guys who know guys.
yeah,
Guitar Maniacs they're filled with
it'd be nice to know what the price market is now
audiophiles and
currently on
yes.
things. Yeah.
Hmm.
All right.
But this has been our struggle, Mein
Yeah,
Kampf
we gotta sort.
or our Kampf.
unser Kampf.
Who wants to sit with? We both.
We've just
got
been
both of
buying those big boxes, 27
Yeah.
gallon boxes, and trying to compact
Hey.
our storage unit into a manageable
Okay.
thing.
Let me send you another thing. Are you familiar with the sound box? Do you know what that is?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Fighting the humor. Fighting the humor. Don't
Is that
do
like
it.
the Ark of the Covenant, but it makes
This is
makes
the
sound?
sound box. This is the third gen. It was originally a
Oh.
Kickstarter, but this is a This is a battery powered
Yeah. So boss,
Bluetooth
boss
speaker.
kick that
This
out of the
is-
water, right? With the
Yeah.
old boss micro, whatever it is.
Did it ever come out?
No, this is out. Yeah, this is the third generation.
Okay, you mentioned that. I missed that, my bad.
Eugene works with a
This is for
guy
buskers?
who's
Is
a
that the
DJ who has two of them. No, this is like an outdoor speaker.
Okay.
It's like
What's so good about it though? Like
It's
what-
number one is battery powered. All right,
Number
so
one.
battery powered
lithium.
is big. It's like
It took
up to
children
40 hours on a single
days
battery.
to mine the lithium for
so
this
big
battery.
ass battery.
Like it's a
Right.
regular size battery. It's decent battery. It's got an app and shit like that. But here
Okay.
it fits a use case that is it's a very durable thing. 5 hours at full volume, right?
Mhm.
So it's
Not bad.
super long lasting, and it's like, look at the size of it.
Yeah,
right?
DJing,
So
karaoke,
It's loud.
busking,
right,
maybe. Yep.
it's loud.
And you could sync
So
them up, I'm guessing.
it's got amp switching. It's got three 72-watt Class D amps inside. Right. So this,
Okay.
if
Class
this,
D. You hear that? You hear that? That's what Quilter has in them.
Yeah.
all right. So
I'm
two
telling you,
10
bro.
inch
Okay.
woofers and one 1-inch tweeter. Right.
That's gonna sound good.
All right. So if we can do, and you can wirelessly connect 5 of them, which is pretty cool. So, you've got a couple. Everyone has one in the group, and you bring it out on a trip, and they're all connected, and you play with 5 speakers.
All right, I get
So,
it.
but they're also very
Got a
durable.
gig.
Right. You
So
got
you gotta have a good
Interesting.
speaker. You gotta have a good chassis. You gotta have a.
So
You have to have
yes.
somebody make the PCB overseas in big bulk, and
Well, yeah, this one is like, it's not waterproof. Like you can't huck it into the water, but you can spray it with water.
right.
You can spray
Water
this shit
resistant.
down with a
Yeah.
yeah, like up
Well,
to it's like
I have
65.
speakers that
You
are
can spray it with a
Kevlar.
hose.
That
Yeah.
they can take heat, because you know how like the magnet the center, the voice coil, it goes
Yes.
and it heats up. The friction heats up, so the cone being Kevlar doesn't burn out as quick.
Mm.
Yes.
One of my favorite speakers is that Kevlar Quilter speaker I got. Pretty cool.
Right. So
Really?
Mhm.
so do you have more Kevlar speakers to put into this thing? Like, 'cause
No.
if we're thinking,
Dude, we have old shit like Olnico, old stuff from like old
Yeah.
and a lot of the
okay,
stuff
okay,
that we got to go through, we do have to sell, and be good, honor the person that gave us this other opportunity, which we're trying to
okay.
present, which is what to do with a bunch of components.
What if you
And
did
that,
turnkey solutions for PA systems that look really cool, old vintage, but work as a normal PA in a small form factor for small venues like coffee houses, churches, classrooms, small industrial. So places that want to have a stereo but don't want a fucking Sony
they don't
black
want one that looks like
piece
a
of
stereo.
electronic.
They want it to look like
Yes,
an old ass.
yes,
It has to fit into the decor.
yes.
I
Yeah,
see
and
it.
they, like that market is
Uh-huh.
3 times the price of the repaired amplifier
And all
market.
that is knowing how to get someone to build the guts, and then you just building
Yes,
the
it's
fucking
good.
thing in.
Sunny guts, Sunny
Let's
guts.
do
It's
that.
good.
Let's do that. Yeah, exactly.
Is
Okay, that's a good idea. I like this idea. That's the same thing that I was kind of telling that me and Alex were talking about, like building just a custom amp that we're gonna call it the CS Sound amps, and just make the amp, make a couple different PCBs or their clones, but make the way that it looks really neat, and just sell it for the price that a good quality clone of that an amp is going for, plus the cost of materials, and then hopefully catching on and whatnot like that. But finding an amp builder that wants to build it for us for a certain percentage of per amp, because I don't want to be sitting and soldering all day. That's
no,
not
but it'll be
really what
fun.
I want to do. It as
That
a
could be
hobby.
fun.
It could be a hobby, but you know what I'm saying? Alex, we got to find somebody who likes this shit, who lives this shit, who wants to do this shit. Okay? We want to learn, right? But once you get in there and you start breathing in solder,
Sunny
you're gonna
guts.
be like, oh, this is a lot.
Uh, yeah.
Not to lose my. I haven't lost my steam. I'm just being honest.
No,
But we
but
lost out. Where'd
yeah,
out?
he'll be back. Well, with the high production market, it's very different. Like, then you hire Indonesian kids to breathe in the solder
No, not
fumes
that
and
high
build your amps,
production. Just
right? But
a good
if you're
product.
making 1 amp, 2 amps, 3, 4, 5 amps, right? And like, what's your margin on each one of those amps? Are we talking like you're gonna sell it for $500 and there's $100 in parts in there, and you got, you know, 2 hours, you got 10 hours of your labor,
Yeah.
right? How much you making on that amp?
It definitely got to be started from a passion thing. I do think though
Sure.
that like if I'd rather do something artistic than cash grab here. You know, like
Of course. No, art.
I don't
Do it because you
because
love it is the only way to do it.
but
I
at the same
feel.
token, like I don't want to just like get rid of a bunch of parts that I know are gonna be like we're gonna get scarcer and scarcer and scarcer and scarcer. I mean, I
Yeah,
only
I
got
think
a good
you're
20
you're
years
right.
left of me of giving a shit about, you know, like a project like this. So I'd like to,
Thank you.
I'd like to do something with it.
Yes, look.
You want to have a sorting
more-
party with us, Nick?
The
We'll
more
bring you on board. If you put the time in sorting, fucking get yourself a voltmeter and start testing bumblebee caps, and we'll
Dude.
sort them all in bins. You're on board, man. You're one of the board members.
I
We-
was
we
ready. I was born to sort small products and meticulously test these items.
All right.
I'm telling you, this
Thank you.
is meant to be.
Well, I know.
This is beautiful.
And Alex has been asking me to hit you up about it, so here we go.
Yes.
This is it.
And
We got
Things
a
in
treasure
boxes,
trove,
clean
bro.
them, organize. Yes.
We got a
we'll
treasure
find a
trove
way
that-
to make this
Nope.
profitable. Like it'll find us, honestly. Even
Oh, it's
just like
easy money. It's just
this
you gotta
connection
actually
with
just do
the
it.
sound engineer. Like we don't know who knows what. We the
I
more
don't want to get ripped off either, so we got to find someone we need to trust.
agreed.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it would be really fascinating to put have a whole package, but a line of products, right? Each one of them is
Yeah.
bespoke. It's
Like
not
little
like
kits,
there's
right?
this one or that one. It's like
Yeah,
what are you looking
here's-
for? Somebody
Here's
says,
a whole
"Hey,
NOS
what
kit
do you
for
want?"
this something, right? Just
Well,
the components in a, like
like
a
you-
plastic bag, right? Wouldn't that be cool?
The,
Like here's
what-
all that you need to build a basement in a bag. How
That
much
might
do you want
be-
to pay for it?
It's like
You
a
know what I'm
kit.
saying?
It's like a
Yeah.
kit.
We build
Like
kits.
you have all the parts. You just need your effort.
And
Your
we could
effort.
we could actually do it over video, over Zoom. We could with a voltmeter. We could be like, here, look, we'll test each one of these components for you. You can
That's
see that the
interesting.
value is correct, the resistance, all that shit's
That's
good.
cool. Like flat pack educational DIY amp
People love
kits
that.
for schools.
For
You
kids.
send it. It's
For
like
kids.
you record the. Okay, if you this is a thing that you could do with a sales funnel. If you do the instructional video once, right,
Masterclass.
you record it, and
An
you say like how to make your own
electrical
amp, and you
He's
send them a
right. An
kit which
electrical-
has your parts may vary, and the
Yeah.
class builds a fucking amp, and they have an
Dude.
amp that has great sound
Bro.
in it.
You do the video once, and then you could
You do the
And sell it over and over again.
you can scale it. You can scale it.
Yes.
We need it to scale,
Yes.
gentlemen.
Scale.
No, dude, this is good. The school thing, that's a really good idea. Actually, there's more there than you think. There's more roots to that tree, bro, and they're going down inside me right now.
And hey,
All right. All right.
I have a cousin who's an electrician and who's also a sound engineer, and both of his legs are broken right now, so he's very vulnerable.
Thanks for throwing that in there.
Yes.
Very vulnerable, and he's
Yes.
willing.
He needs-
He can't
he needs
move
something to do with his
very
hands,
far,
is that what you're trying to say?
He's still got arms. He's
He's
still got
still-
fucking arms.
and he needs a way to pass his time, right?
Okay.
He's
right,
an
bro.
electrician.
How much
All right,
an
we
hour
gotta-
does he
we gotta
want?
get him on-
We gotta sell some components to pay your cousin. You say cousin?
Yeah, he's my cousin. His
You like
goal.
everybody's my cousin in your brain.
He told me his goal was he has one goal for this year, and that's to recover and to go snowshoeing. So we're both envisioning that, and I know it's going to happen one day or another. I have two pairs of snowshoes
is.
ready.
All right.
And-
Send in my vibes, bro. Send in my
Yeah.
I
vibes.
got a pair of micro spikes. I got the large size this time, so it'll actually fit over my hooves.
Look at that! Look at that!
You mean your
what a
cloven
gift.
hooves?
Yes.
Oh, by the way, Matt got super close with Eugene's kid. The name he like Very, very close.
Really?
Yes,
Hold on.
like
I'm not
impressed.
done. I'm not done. I'm not done. Just don't fuck with me.
all right,
I wanna play.
Jeopardy.
I want
Go
you guys
ahead.
to understand that this is if if things come to me, I have no choice. I have no control. So I can't be stabbing in the dark, man. I'm seeing A's, M's. I'm seeing
Stabbing in the
K's
dark. That's a
next
new
to
band
fucking.
name.
I'm seeing K's and I's next to J's and fucking. There's a Y at the end. I'm just like tired of this shit. G maybe fucking Amgeezy me. It's like something.
Go back to
R
the beginning.
R Ari Ari Giri Mir
You got the
Araki
first
Harigiri.
part. You got the first part.
Yeah. Do it like a brute force.
It's
Ari Min Ari
there's four syllables, right?
Ark Arik.
He kind of pronounces it as 3, sort
Is it?
of. I
Of course he does.
I think it is 4,
Ari Tutu
but I thought I heard 3 from him.
Arki
When I saw the name, I was like, I wonder how he's gonna do it. If he can't
Yeah.
pronounce it, how he's gonna pronounce it.
Armukiti Arlukiti
I was actually, yeah, it's kind of, it was in a fuzz at first. I was like, huh. I didn't try to repeat it. I wasn't going to make another sound that was sort of like it in my head to clog the one that's there. I'm like, so I can kind of go back and play it. I was like, that's how it is.
I saw the written version first. I saw the written version, so that probably had an impact on me in the way I
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. I have not seen it spelled, which I think is probably better because it would only be confusing. I have a feeling it would lead me farther from the pronunciation. Hara ho, hari hara ha, hara hara ha ha.
That was a great song. My from Eugene's native country. That song.
Yeah.
Oh, he is. He's Moldovan.
Oh yes.
Huh.
They'll never admit
That's
it though.
Harakumi.
Well, one of these days we'll hold him down and say, "Tell us where you're from."
And he'll be like, Romania. I'm from Europe.
Let's say I'm from Europe.
I'm from wherever the green card says.
I mean, he's an American, so
Oh,
at least, yeah.
here's a little side segment. I'm working with a company that's kind of like doing a knockoff off of Athletic Greens, but a manly version. It's called Morning Man Greens, right? And then I'm doing some product work for them. And they need manly men with beards, and I'm thinking, and outdoorsman type guys. And I was thinking, I know just the guys who can help us with this.
I got 50% of that.
Yeah, we can go on a hike sometime. I'll just bring the product and have you guys.
I know a couple
good.
stout guys.
Yeah, all right, no, that would be fun. What is it called?
Morning Man Greens.
Morning Man Greens.
They're very strong branding of like this kind of like 30s manly. It's basically Athletic Greens with caffeine.
It's like
that's
lumberjack
what it
stuff.
is. Yeah, exactly.
That's the vibe I'm feeling.
Yes, it's not Athletic Greens. They're woodsy greens. Yeah, Morning Man Greens. Okay, Athletic Greens.
Ari
is caffeine.
Gumkeshki. That's probably your name. Ari Gumkeshki or some shit like that. Something like.
I mean,
Ari because competition is like. It's
in
like 3 or 4 different
spirit,
consonants.
it sounds like it. It has a vibe.
We'll wait for Eugene to break the news, but
Yes.
he, or at least pronounce it, because I mean,
Yeah, nobody wants to spoil the
who
fun.
knows what it sounds like? And I wonder if this was Amanda's idea that he just
We
signed
may
off
never
onto.
We may
Dude,
or
know.
I
if it
feel
was
responsible, guys, because do you recall me
I think
going,
it's the other
you
way.
know what would be cool? If you took like one Romanian word and one Japanese word. Is she Japanese? I thought she was Japanese.
just like half or a
Part.
quarter.
Okay, and
Yes.
Her mom's half.
I was like, take
Yes.
half of one Japanese word and half of this word and put them together. That would be like the most unique name ever. And maybe he ran with that, and I'm sorry because
Hmm.
then we're screwed. But
No.
Yes.
I
No, I
don't.
think
so
Let's
is it
okay.
meaning?
Let's give him a meaning of what it means. Okay.
Okay, so it's an actual name that's already been. It's not a brand new
you've
name.
gotten so many clues now. If you don't get it, you'll be exposed as a fake
Okay.
psychic, and you're
It's
going
a
to psychic
it's
jail.
it's a 2010 film
Okay,
too.
cool.
Apparently,
Sorry. What'd you?
It's a film?
it's a
That I
film.
didn't know.
2010. Maybe
Oh,
that's
yes. Yeah.
all right.
Like
Okay.
Miyazaki anime?
Yes, he named his daughter Totoro.
Okay. So hey, it's it's of British origin. Wait, no, that's not it.
Really?
Never mind.
Yes. Uh,
Um,
you're thinking of the book.
yes.
And I just want to go on
Yeah.
record and say I never said I was a psychic. I said I feel like intuition's an important part of what it means to be human,
Human.
and I try to have a relationship with mine, uh, and if I feel like I'm slipping away from that, I feel like I'm not human anymore, and
Wow.
it's as close as I can understand the feeling. Because if you don't, because if you think you're kind of like experience what we call reality, and I don't think that's where that realm is. I think that realm exists there. I think there might be a projection, like a simulation, but not entirely certain if we're creating it or if it's being created. But uh, yeah,
That's beautiful, man.
navigating's different. Navigating's not. No one can control it, but it comes and goes.
It's important. It's more important than we know because
Yeah.
if we're just relying on data and we're rejecting our intuition, right? We're it it we that begins to slip away. And if that begins to slip away, then we can't connect on like an interpersonal basis that's beyond the
I
verbal,
also think you receive things that you kind of need to receive or are supposed to receive a lot of times too. It's a very weird thing. Like I had this dream the other day. It was just this weird dream about my previous job, and it like
Yeah.
solved a lot of mental problems I was having with my current job.
Wow.
And it was such a random dream, and it was such like a violently intense dream in terms of how I felt that I woke up feeling like, why am I stressing out currently in the now? Like when I was like 10 times the amount of like anxiety then, and I was way calmer. So it was like I needed to hear that message, right? So it was like,
Yeah. Dreams
that's
are
why the
important.
dreams are really
Y-
important part of the realm, because they're not in our they're basically like your processors just dumping data and recycling data, but also like there's some
There's
sacredness.
something to it. There's something
They
to
put
to dreams. It's
things in
almost
dreams.
like they're creating simulations of potential realities and how to respond to them if they ever do come up, or how how to be. It's just like it's almost like a mental rehearsal for potentials. And you know what I
Yeah,
noticed? So I've
deja
been doing
vu.
I've been doing a cannabis cleanse this year. I haven't had any cannabis for a few weeks now, and I've noticed that my dreams have become a lot
Vivid.
more
Yes.
vivid and more. I've been able to sleep better, which leads me
Yeah.
to believe that cannabis definitely has some maybe has some sort of inhibitory function with REM sleep. At least that's kind of what it led me to
Well,
believe.
dude, it stimulates your brain, but then when it's done stimulating your brain doesn't stimulate itself anymore. So you need to take breaks so that your brain stimulates itself, because the brain doing what the brain is supposed to do on its own is going to be 10 times more powerful, a bazillion times more powerful than what you get when you're forcing or brain hacking.
I don't think cannabis is brain hacking. I think it changes the neural network or the neural pathway
Then
of our
that,
stimulus.
yeah, that's
That's why it causes you to kind of to
doing
see things in a different way. That at least
right.
that's what I got when I talked to Dr. Brown, who's Joe's father,
Hmm.
who's now deceased, about cannabis. Anyways, well, another thing I wanted to mention, I wanted to tell you guys about an experience I had with the Buddhist monk. So
Oh yes.
yeah, this was really fascinating, at least to me. So there's this Buddhist monk that every once in a while he books me for a massage, and it's usually like a 2 hour massage, and I go to
Interesting.
his monk house, and he's like a full blown monk.
What
He
monk house?
he
I need to see the monk
got
house. What's the monk house? Give me the setting.
okay. So this is
Tell
a
me the
monk
story.
who has a house, and he's
Uh-huh.
building a temple like a couple plots away from where his house is.
Like,
And last
where
time
is
I
it?
saw the
Yeah.
temple, SeaTac, um,
Okay.
it's
All
in
right.
SeaTac. There's this big water tower. You can see it when you're
Okay.
passing it on 5. But anyways,
Okay.
the temple is behind the water tower. And the last time I was
Okay.
there, it was just the foundation of this temple. Now it's
Mm.
the exterior is fully
You
built, and
building
there's
it all out of
60,
stone?
not all the stone, it's like wooden, and there's
Mm.
60-foot tall ceilings in this place, right? And there's these
Wow.
3 massive 5-ton Buddhas with swastikas on their on their throats.
Throat.
And I mean,
The
and
chakra.
anyways, and there's going to be these 2 massive gongs on either side, right? So I was there for a massage, and I'm there knocking on the door, and I'm like, hey, I'm here, I'm here to for the massage, and he's not answering the door. I'm like, huh, that's odd. A couple minutes goes by, and he runs from behind the house, and he's like, oh, sorry. He's like, hey, we can't do the massage today. I'm working on the temple. He's like, if you want to come see the temple, you're welcome to come check it out. So I'm like, yeah, sure, I want to come see the temple. So he's like, here, I'll just pay you for your time for wasting your time, and he gives me some money, and I was like, all right, let's go check out the temple. And I go into the temple, and they're hanging these lanterns, right, in this temple, and it's a beautiful temple. It's like the ceilings are just vaulted, and beautiful, right? And they were preparing for the lunar year, which or the lunar festival, which is on the 22nd of January. And if they're open invite to anybody who wants to join, he invited us if you guys want
Hmm.
to join. And anyway, so I'm there, and they're hanging these lanterns, and they're like moving this big ladder, and there's just like 3 guys there. So I was like, oh, I'm just gonna stay and help hang these ladders. So I just spend my time a couple hours
Paper
hanging up these
lanterns?
lanterns. No, I don't. They're heavy lanterns, but anyways,
Oh,
we hang the
okay.
lanterns, and it they're Vietnamese, right? There's a couple people there. There's like 3 guys. One of them is like elderly, so I figured
Mm-hmm.
I'd stay and help move this heavy ass ladder. I mean, the ceilings are pretty tall, and we hang
Right.
these ladders, and the guy's like, hey, the monk's like, he has a restaurant called Seattle Lotus. He's like, let's go have dinner together. I was like, yeah, why not?
The Lotus
Sounds like fun.
restaurant? Sounds
Lotus,
familiar.
Seattle
Yeah.
Lotus.
I think
It's
I've
a
eaten there.
vegetarian restaurant because, I mean,
Mm.
he's a Buddhist monk, so they don't eat meat, but the food is
Right. Right.
delicious. So we hang the lanterns, and we go to the restaurant, and there's maybe like 8 9 people there, and we all sit family style, right? And they're all speaking in Vietnamese, right? And we just have a meal
Which you are
together.
fluent in.
No, I'm not. I don't understand anything they're saying, and they don't speak a single word in English except root beer. That was weird. I'll get to that. I'll get to that. Yeah, so we're having this family style dinner, right? I'm
Root beer.
enjoying it. I'm enjoying it, right? I'm just watching everybody speak, and
Lol.
afterwards he pours everybody like a root beer, and I was like,
That's my
what
favorite
is?
drink, dude, in the world.
Yeah,
That's
mine
my
too,
favorite drink.
right?
Yeah.
Like and so we have this root beer, and then he goes, and he turns to me and he goes, "We were talking about you." And it was like a
Ah,
family meal. I enjoyed it, and he thanked me for helping out at the temple and invited us to join them on the
that's
22nd
amazing.
at the temple for Lunar New Year. If anybody wants to join and see this little man who built this massive temple, you're more
Little
than
man,
welcome
big
to.
temple.
And he and
In
apparently
theaters, March.
people around him call him the master or like master something. So
Huh.
and so I think he's the head of this temple, and
Of this small little order.
he has like a shaved head, and he has like the little
Right.
things, the indents in his head. I don't know if that's just like the dedication thing,
From
or
from, from self trepidation.
probably some sort of I don't know what.
Ritualistic stuff.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he tells me he meditates, like an hour a day, and that's why his back is always sore
Dude,
because
guys,
he's
I
always
was
meditating.
while I was sick, I thought like, this has happened to me so many times in my life where I'm like, dude, I genuinely want to go for like at least 6 months into a fucking like monastery and just cut off like even a silent one like from
Could you do 10
everything.
days?
Like,
If you could do 10 days and we can all get 10 days off, we can do a 10-day
dude,
Vipassana where we don't speak and meditate for 10 days and it's free. There's
no,
places that do this.
I need longer. I need to like disconnect from my life longer. Like,
Start with 10
but
days. Start with 10 days and then
10
we'll
days would
see.
just be like, okay, I
It's a
because
teaser.
you know how long that shit takes to get inside out and outside of yourself. It takes way longer than 10 days. But yeah, you would get
Try
something out of a 10 day.
try
You would
not
get
speaking
something.
for 10 days to anybody. They feed you and everything. They accommodate the whole thing.
My biggest challenge right now is trying not to fuck Eugene mom for 10 days.
I don't know how you're
Oh,
capable of
I know
doing
you.
this.
I know you.
He's got a
I know you're trying
transatlantic
really.
ding dong.
Right?
You,
What do you
you're
have,
trying
like
really hard. You're
a
trying
thing
really
with
hard
Spirit Airlines or
not to indulge me. I know. Yeah, no, it was like the
Virgin
Titanic. I,
Airlines?
I sank it deep, deep, deep in her Mariana Trench.
You guys have
All right.
such a bromance. Oh my gosh, it's hilarious.
I
It's
just needed to get
hilarious.
that out, guys, because he didn't show up. I had them in
I
tank,
know.
and they're built up now. Sorry.
Matt and I have been talking about humor and the role of humor and how it's sometimes it's built into people's characters as just like a way to disperse tension, and some people who have traumatic childhoods, they develop that skill or gift, or if they're from a rough family, they like it becomes an aspect of their character.
Navigate
Yeah.
navigate the world through other
Yeah.
people's reactions. Yes.
Or
Like
to
Nick, I told Alex that
yeah.
I trusted you instantly because you spoke the humor language with me, which is the language I speak with other people when I'm trying to feel them out. And you showed your arms and sleeves, and you showed your heart to me right away through that medium, and so that's why we became close right away. And then I didn't feel the need to use humor on Alex because I trusted him right away, just because I have the intuitionally, like, we connected, we bonded spiritually, and so
We
I
played
didn't
music together
require.
first thing.
Yeah,
That's the
we
first
for
thing that
like
we
four
did.
hours we just played
That'll
music
do it.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I was saying with like Eugene, I had to find his tickle button. I had to find out what made him laugh, and same with Paul. So it's just a social, like you said, the new band name, Social Cloak. It's a way to
Yeah,
navigate the space of human consciousness, and
it's true.
it's interesting. Everybody has a different frame of mind with humor, and humor is a vulnerable thing, very vulnerable thing, very
And
very
like you said,
vulnerable.
Matt, to see what other people laugh at,
Yeah,
what their response is to tension, or to the release of tension.
Hmm.
It's
yeah,
very telling who a person is.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. It is. Like
The
and
communist
how
mints. That was
you know
good.
what kind of like tickles me? What kind of like gets me excited is when someone's so pent up because they're so serious, because they're so professional that you could tell that they need to laugh. They really need to laugh, and it's inside, and they're bursting, and they just want to like It's like when they need to go on a psychedelic adventure, but just with laughter. But like you can tell, like if you say something funny, they're canned. It's canned. They're just like, yeah.
They
That's just
resist
like
it.
I'm just like, oh, I want to mine that. I want to dig in there. I want to get that out of there. I need to get that out of there. It needs to
Oh,
get out of there.
it's a
Yeah,
healing thing for them.
and
To
it's like
It's
a
a heal.
description of laughter is what they give instead of the
Right,
involuntary response. They're like, here, check this out. This is funny. Yes, see what I mean? Ha, it's great, right? Isn't that hilarious?
right.
Okay,
Yeah,
right. It's like that's it wasn't funny if that's how you say it.
yeah.
If you're like and that's how you show it to a person. If you try to tell a joke and you can't get through it,
Yeah,
then it's funny, right?
right,
That's
right.
or if you can put yourself aside enough, if like if you got over the part that tickles you
It's
about the
about putting
humor,
yourself
like
aside. It's like the guy that's making the joke is actually probably one of the most vulnerable ones in the group. Like because he's trying to get other people to be vulnerable with him. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And that's what it's
yes,
about.
yes, sure, and it's tough, That's like I think
Yeah.
that's part of the special properties of the yo mama jokes, right?
yeah,
It's
yeah,
one of those things is like because it's
yeah.
undeniable the negative element, like nobody can get around it, and so it's like, well, we're just gonna sit here in this spot for the rest of the night. No, like it creates a space like, okay, if everyone agrees that like
That
that's the space,
it's
like that's the
participatory
new,
for sure.
right, like that's the new uh lingo, then it becomes a way to inhabit trauma. It like fetishizes the traumatic element in a
Yeah,
way.
my first
And
instinct to get over something tough like that is to use humor, because you're right. It it's participatory. That's such a good way to look at it. God, that's a perfect thing to say, because that is indeed it's reciprocal, and anything reciprocal has to be participatory. But like humor, it predicates itself on being participatory in a way. Like it's not acknowledging it. It's not like, oh, he told a joke, you have to laugh. No, no, it's not that. It's not joke, laugh, punchline. What it is a precipitatory like vulnerability uh, about the human condition. Just like
Yeah.
just like crying over something really tragic together, laughing over something or tragic or funny together is the same exact emotion to me.
Hey,
It's a duality that's happening simultaneously.
that's interesting that you say that. I've heard it said that, the difference like uh, uh, between deep laughter, right, and then like a deep sob, it comes from the same place, like in the diaphragm. It's like
Mm.
it's almost triggering a very similar thing. But
I'm telling you that
it's also
happy cry,
it's both
the
healing. It's
happy
also
cry, the
healing
happy
too.
cry,
It's
happy
a
cry.
release too, a release. Hmm.
That's the best, the happy cry, right? Isn't that the
Yeah.
best, guys? Oh my God, I
sure,
love that.
yeah. Also, the look of the expression on people's faces. If you look at like still frames of movies where a character is either crying or laughing, and you have to
Mm,
figure out which it is. Like if you don't know, if you just like show random things of movies, sometimes it's hard to figure out what it
right.
is, whether it's a laugh or a cry.
That's what I'm saying. It's a duality, dude. It's like this weird, delicate balance. You're right. It'd be hard.
Yeah.
It'd be hard to tell, and it's hard to tell. Like you said, like if someone laughs and they laugh in a group setting, Are they laughing to fit in, or are they laughing because they actually think it's funny? You know, the same thing as if you're looking at a picture of someone, you can't quite tell if they're sad or mad. You're getting that because we're facial recognition. The facial recognition is off. You know, and then there's this sound. It's like birds speak, right? Different bird calls. Like types of laughter are actually really, I think, complex, man. And you can tell whether it's fake or real just by the way that it sounds. I think that's really amazing.
And sometimes laughter is just a response. People don't have a choice but to respond, you know.
Yeah,
and
involuntary.
that's a beautiful thing too, because it's like they don't want to laugh, but they're getting
That
that
they spit their
reaction.
milk all over their keyboard, you know, out their
Yeah,
tongue.
yeah. You know, there's a quote by Hemingway, and it goes, you know, the world breaks everybody, and afterwards, they're stronger in the broken places. And here's the quote of the day. It's by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Our strength grows out of our weakness. Not until we are pricked and stung and sorely shot at awakens the indignation which arms itself with secret forces. A great man is always willing to be little. While he sits on the cushion of advantages, he goes to sleep. When he is pushed, tormented, defeated, he has a chance to learn something. He has been put out of his wits on his manhood. He has gained facts, learns his ignorance, is cured of the insanity of conceit, has got moderation and real skill. Yeah.
He has been tempered by the fire.
Yeah,
our strength grows out of our weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's the central point of all of our like dramatic films. Every main character has a
Catharsis.
fatal flaw, and
Yeah.
every main character has a special power, and they are the same
the rising
thing.
Conflict, right? The rising conflict,
right?
It awakens that special power.
Yes, it's the turn of how I'm going to Peterson here. It's the turn of it's how you use it. See, it's more complicated than that, right? It's how you approach it. If you take it as a flaw. In the beginning of the movie, it's like they think they're flawed, they think they're not good enough, they think all these things, and then they through effort, through whatever, through perspective, through experience, through struggling through things and failing and trying different things, and then finally coming back to realize that the flaw that they thought they had is actually their greatest gift if they only learned how to use it and did the things right, that it fits in community and had the faith in themselves as if they were worthy and worthwhile. And that's the story of, that's the moral of every fucking story. Fucking story.
and internally too, you can just say like, that's when you get on the hamster wheel. Because when you're internally on the hamster wheel, you don't know you're on the hamster wheel, and you're running, and then you realize, why am I running? Oh wait, is this a wheel? And then you're like, oh shit, this is a wheel. What am I running on a wheel for? What's the reason of the running? And then when you decide you don't want to run anymore, you get off the wheel. And you look over and you're like, I'm not running anymore. And then you look over and you see the wheel. You're like, why did I get on the wheel? And then you like, you know what I mean? It's that back and forth, like.
Yeah.
But it's stretched out in a beautiful allegory and story.
Yes.
But hamsters feel that way.
They do.
They just need exercise. Humans.
You ever see them when there's two that get on a wheel?
Death marches.
They're just like they're going as fast as they can. The other one like whoa, and they kind of lose their footing and they're barely holding on, and then it just flies off there due to centrifugal force or centripetal force, I guess is what that is. But yeah, I love to see like a launched gerbil, like when animals are playing and like they do something that's just insane. Like I love that because I'm imagining what goes through their head, like as that gerbil was flying through the air, just like it's holding on for dear life, and it's at great speed. It's like with his tiny little hands, like Like what sound was it making? Was it like, yeah, fuck yeah? Or was it like, no, Tommy, stop it, Tommy? Like the whole time. What was it? Was it like excited by a thing and then all of a sudden it just lost its grip? Or was it on there? He's like, yeah, fuck yeah. Dude, what if I let go? You should totally let go. As he's running, he goes, yeah. It's like, that's so awesome. He just got boom, 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 and hits every part of the little glass aquarium he's in. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's good that animals, if they're not conscious like we're conscious, they don't have the kind of moral agency that we have. Maybe that life would just be horrifying for them. Maybe that would be a
Existentialism.
disaster. Yeah. Yeah. Imagine realizing you're a cat one day. Like, shit. Fuck. I'm never going to get a job as a cat.
I happen to think that animals
Lucky.
are functioning on the level that humans used to, and that
They definitely have intuition. I mean,
yeah, I know. No, that's one of the primary. You know, it's like you do this all the time, Nick. When you go to think about walking a dog, and they're fucking over by the leash, and you're like, how the fuck did you know? And you didn't say one thing. You didn't make any one notion. It was just it was
Yeah.
blind. You know
I mean,
what I'm saying?
if you have a relationship with an animal, it's generally nonverbal,
Yeah.
and they're
Oh,
sensing you out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
To them,
obviously.
it's 100% nonverbal.
Yeah.
You might be saying stuff.
Yeah, just for your own self.
Yeah. You're making sounds that you call words that they don't even have a word for words.
Speaking of intuition, so the morning that Eugene had his kid,
Had baby, yeah.
who shall remain nameless for now, I totally sensed it. I couldn't sleep that night, right? And I was in my bed doing Reiki, and I remember, for whatever reason, I was focusing on my sacral and solar plexus chakra, right?
Mm.
And
You're up and push.
And I hear the ding from Signal, and Eugenia was like, "It's a girl." I was like, "I knew it! Congratulations!" And then after that, I was able to relax, but until I felt something was going on. Something was going on, and I couldn't sleep, and that happened at 7 a.m. It was interesting, very interesting. It's almost like I was able to feel something was happening, or tap into the fact something was going on.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean those, like you said, reverberations. There seems to be sense to that. I mean,
the ripples, man.
You're connected. Yeah. You're connected to it. I mean, dogs can hear you, and it seems like they have intuition, because how can they tell in a city when you're 2 blocks away, you know, when you're coming up to the house? Because there are times I pull up to the house and the door opens as I'm pulling up, which means they heard me at some point far away, and they started rousting around, and it took time for them to say, "Oh, you need to go out," and they got up and go upstairs and get to the door and open the door, and that's the time that I'm pulling up, and they're standing there, and they know what direction I'm fucking coming from. They're never looking the other way.
No.
They're only looking the way I come from.
If you guys ever went to our other house at Arbor, every delivery vehicle that would drive up, every human being that would walk up to, like, the postman, anything, okay, Dakota would, like, bark at or do something. My truck pulled in, she'd be sitting on the fucking porch, just, like, wagging, and then, like, lose her fucking mind. Just, like, lose her mind, like, go to the door, like, you haven't even, like seen it could be someone else driving that truck, you know? it doesn't have to be me. Like
They don't know
it's just
what model
insane.
your truck is.
Yeah, no, that's not even it. It's not even about the truck, but that's humans' perception. But like, it's just insane, like how they do that. It's
I
fucking
mean,
weird.
it could have
It's
a
a
particular
connection.
timing, right? Like the
Mm.
sequence and maybe the melody and the pitch of the engine has a certain signature, right? The exhaust has a certain signature, a certain
Yeah.
vibration. It has a
And
tone.
humans
And they
do.
might associate that with you, potentially.
Yes.
pattern bound, even in
Yeah.
their speech
They're like,
and their
oh
breathing
yeah.
and their smell.
Sure, yeah, they sense your breathing. Like they know your gait. If you walk funny, they don't like it. They might not recognize you if you change your walk.
Dakota stays closer to Lori with the leash, and like goes far with me. She like knows because I'll sometimes I'll run or with her or I'll walk farther or run, so she knows the difference between the two inherently. Who has the leash? We could both be walking.
They'll
If I
treat you
hand the leash to
differently.
Lori, she stops. It's like
She's probably more
I moved the
protective
leash
of
over?
her.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Huh.
By the way, the meaning of Eugene's girls, the meaning is dainty or gorgeous, one who is like a home ruler.
Like a flower.
A home ruler. Dainty or gorgeous, one who is like a home ruler.
A home ruler,
Right.
like
Yeah.
a ruler that you
Aribella.
keep at the house, or one who rules the home.
I don't know.
Like I think
That's just what it says. I think it's a British
I love
name.
this clue. This is a very good clue.
Okay, and there's two
Aribata.
sets. There's two sets of two repeating letters in this name.
Oh, yeah. 2 R's.
Yeah, 2 R's.
2 T's.
Yes, 2 T's.
Yeah.
What is it now?
Arigati.
You're so close, dude. Arigato. You got it, man.
Arodi. I don't know. But I don't know, man.
That's so good. You got it.
Air Jordans.
What is it? Fucking, you're killing me.
I'll spell it out for you. Arritty.
Arati.
How do you say it?
Arietti.
That's how I would think it's
Arietti.
said. Arietti.
There is a
Are you a Yeti?
TV film that's Arietti. Arietti. No, it's spelled differently. It's more Japanese than it is anything else.
It is.
Where do you look?
Yeah.
Arietti.
Arietti. How did Eugene pronounce it, Nick?
It was more like the first way you said it. Arietti.
Arietti.
Ariati.
Arietti.
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 That's not as like hideous as you guys had sold it off to be. I was expecting. Yeah, it's.
We didn't say it was hideous.
No, you're right.
We said it was rare.
It's gorgeous and dainty. It's dainty or gorgeous, not and or.
Home ruler, whatever that means.
Arietti.
The day, January 3rd.
Household
the day
tyrant.
of complete involvement, or like.
Oh wow!
Gonna have
ambitious man, she's children. Gonna be a strong one. Well, Aquarius. So let's see here.
Aquarius.
What year are we in? We're in the year of the
rat.
Yes.
Arietti.
Rat. Actually, wait, no, dude. The Chinese New Year. You got to remember that now. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're already past the beginning of the Chinese, the New Year, but.
Well, the Buddhist New Year, right? The Lunar New Year.
Yeah, 22nd.
Isn't that that's the New Year, right?
That's the lunar New Year. Yeah.
Have you guys watched the Studio Ghibli movie I told you about? That came up in my fucking brain pan. Remember? It's
I didn't
Arietti.
see any giblets. No.
It's a movie about these little people, okay, that are like these little people that live inside the walls. Dude, and
Dwarves?
I thought about this movie when we were talking about this name earlier, dude.
Really?
I said Studio Ghibli, so I'm gonna send this
You
to
did.
chat so you guys can.
What
you
is
can
the
think
what is
about
the name? What is the name of the movie?
Arietti.
Okay. Okay. Wow.
So here. I'm gonna give
What
this
do
to
you know?
So just
You are
this
a receiver, Matt. You
well,
are
I'm not
a human
sure
receiver.
if this is what their inspiration was, but
Might
this is
be.
a great movie. It's a great movie.
Directed by Hiromasa Yonewashi. It's his feature film debut. Animated by Studio Ghibli.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Great movie. It's like it makes you think about like babies, but humans being babies. Like and living in the wall, and they're like they don't want the big people to know that they're there, and so it's kind of funny. But like I didn't know what the name meant in Japanese. Thank you for saying that because like strong, interesting, strong, like the ruler
She
of the house
lives
or something.
with her parents under the floorboards of a mansion in suburban Tokyo.
That's so
What do you
good.
know?
So good, dude. Hey, check this out. I'm gonna flip my camera around if I can figure out how to do that.
Please do.
Whatever.
Don't let the humans see you.
This is just on the wall.
Were you?
What is it?
Did you do that with a lighter?
No, I didn't do this. This is the outside, but I was just like wanted to do this. Did you see that? Can you see the
Yeah.
weird?
Of course.
It's like I think people are coming with the cigarettes, wiping their cigarettes out. What do you think? Cigarettes? But,
Yep.
But it looks like a flame.
It does.
It's like nature, art imitates life, or life imitates art. Which one is?
Who would do that though? Who would put a cigarette out on an interior wall?
On the inside of the wall. Yeah, dude.
That's
It's cold outside.
That's pretty fucking bush league. That's the fucking bush league shit. That's a cool background.
Yeah, dude. This right here, I'm falling into the swirls, man. It's starting to kick in, man. Whoa, Arietti. So this has been fun, guys. So let's actually do this thing on Thursday. Please don't let me forget, because you know I'm a balloon, dude. I need to be tethered.
Thursday.
The guy.
What's happening Thursday?
Go to the fucking open mic, man.
Oh,
When
okay.
is
Yes,
that?
next Thursday, Cafe Racer. Racer.
Not
Racer Cafe.
Yeah,
It's,
Cafe
it's
Racer.
it's the following Thursday. Yeah.
Okay, so
Or
like
Racer.
I'll remind you guys.
Like
The 19th.
12, 19.
And hey, just reminding you, it's an open mic. So if you guys have any material or anything you wanna do, you're welcome to. It's an open mic. But hey,
Do you want to
it'd
get
be
up
just
there
cool to
and
hang
tear
out.
it up? You want to?
Yeah, dude, I'll sing Mr. Bojangles.
Well, how about we sit up there and just
jam?
Jam.
Okay, I'm down. Oh, I can always do that. I'm down.
Something like super simple, like ultra simple.
I love that simple is like your way to like try to cope.
There we go.
Yes. It's good. Now let's talk about him in Vietnamese.
This is Matt's way of exiting. It's always abrupt and sudden and unexpected.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah,
What a great
the
time.
phone died.
Yeah, very likely. While he was laying on the carpet. Thank you for making time, Nicholas.
Yes, thank
I do
you.
appreciate it. I know you've been busy and involved in your own thing. Haven't we all though, you know? It's a new
Yes.
year, it's a new day.
It's a new life for me. Yeah, it's a new day. It's a new
Fuck
life.
Michael Bublé.
What a
No,
boob
he's
way.
what a
No, he's all
boob.
right.
Yeah, he's all right.
Mickey
Very
Boobs,
smooth
he's
voice.
cool. He's cool.
Yeah, he's cool.
He's a
Yeah,
good
I'll be
singer. I
going.
mean, he sounds like
Yeah,
other singers,
yeah, he
and that's
does.
okay.
It's
I
all right.
think, I don't know, you have your voice to me, the tone of your voice is not what I usually hear. I mean, I get some Chris Cornell. Uh, I get a little like, but I don't get any like, a lot of singers have kind of a gimmick thing, like something that they add in, like Lane Staley or fucking like, you know, Pearl Jam. Like think of the sounds of bands, like something that's characteristic, or the Pop Girls, Yeah, like that kind
Yeah.
of sound with their tongue is out. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Britney Spears, that kind of
Oh
shit.
yeah. Uh-huh.
So, but you don't have any of those like deliberate things in your voice. I don't, I don't hear, like, even when you were singing uh, at karaoke, you did "Be Yourself,"
Yeah.
and you got all of those notes and pitches were all right, but it didn't sound like an impression of Chris Cornell. It sounded like you singing a song that you had written.
Hmm.
And I was like, okay. Okay, yes,
That's the thing.
that's a person actually singing. This is what a person singing sounds like. Uh,
You know, that that's a very great compliment from
hmm.
you, and I do appreciate it. And one thing that I kind of recognized about just singing and the instrument of the voice is that you have to be, I don't know how to put this. If you're the conduit, you have to for the galvanism to run through you, you kind of have to surrender to the shape of your instrument for it to resonate, and you have to like understand your own resonance for that to work. I don't know if that's any way of describing it, but
Well,
oh,
I get
yep,
it. It
sorry,
makes sense.
gentlemen, my phone died, but my mind didn't. Another riveting experience being human with both of you. We love you,
That's
man.
great. That's
Thank you
great.
for the
Yeah.
compliment. I hope we do get to do a karaoke session again sometime. Maybe get Kate involved. Anybody
Yes.
else? That was a lot. That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that evening. We
Yes.
got to get Eugene up too.
Yeah, he's got to be. I feel like he's on need to know
Yeah,
basis
he's
for like probably 6 months, but
but
but yeah, Kate definitely. I think maybe involvement um, is beneficial, is therapeutic, is
yeah.
helpful that way. Like she has such gift of music.
Oh
Both
yeah,
of you
she
do.
does.
It's you're
And now
like
she's teaching children's choir. That's something that she decided to do to, I guess, to share that gift with
yes,
others. Or maybe it's to be a tyrant. I don't really know. I'm just kidding.
or maybe to be around children.
Yeah,
Like,
that too. Yeah.
kids are pleasant. That's also uh, like because they're always so happy and exciting. There's so many inputs, right? Like for people who are interested in what people do,
Yeah.
which for people like us is, I mean, it's nice. It's nice every once in a while, but if you're probably like things more. You're probably like reading or things that aren't a person. The things that you probably like to interact with most often are not people. if I had to guess.
It depends. It really depends.
It
You
depends.
know,
Sure, it depends on
it's
the people,
both.
right? Yeah. I don't
Yeah,
mean like
depends on the
that
thing.
there's a hierarchy, but just like
Yeah.
proportional, like this amount of things, it's like these are the things, and like
Uh-huh.
this is the number of people, right? But
I think that's kind of a pattern with men and women, or masculine and feminine as well.
yeah,
Are interested in ideas and concepts, and women are more interested in people and but speaking of just like voice, I remember Eugene texted me a day or two after the cabin trip, and he's like, "Hey man, is your jaw sore?" I'm like, from the MDMA, right? And I was like, "Yeah, it is a little bit sore." And I was like, another thing I noticed was my voice was a lot lower, and it was a lot lower for like a few weeks. Like it was noticeable. Yeah, it was very noticeable. And I was like, was it the yoming? Was it the just the complete relaxation? I felt like it was maybe it was the dopamine melted all the tension, and it allowed for the vocal cords to completely relax. But that persisted for a few weeks. That
man,
was an interesting side effect. That was great.
yes,
And hey, oh, the last thing I want to mention to you, Nick, you mentioned to me something at the cabin, and it opened up a sixth sense to me regarding Reiki. Remember, I was doing Reiki, and you were like, and you described the little like the whatever,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And
yeah. I remember.
I started noticing that every time I did Reiki, and I would notice it in like my sacral, or the dantian. It's like kind of a little bit below the belly button. And every time I do a Reiki symbol, there's that boop, boop, boop. And I've been noticing it more and more and more and more. And until you mentioned it, I did not notice it. So like, true story, bro. Honestly, thank you for pointing that out to me. That was a very acute and yeah, important observation. Because whenever I do the symbols wrong, it doesn't happen. Yeah, something there, man.
Mhm. Dude, this is.
So thank you for that.
I'm glad to help to point out with my my autistic listening disorder / ability.
It's you you pay attention. You definitely pay attention, and you know your body. You're very in tune with yourself, and with your own
So,
energy, and with everything around you. Thank you for
well,
that.
well, thank you. Yeah, yeah, man. Well, um,
I don't know what to make of it, but I just know that now that every time that I do Reiki, it's like almost like a phone is vibrating. It's that strong. Like
mm,
I feel it. Yeah, especially if I'm like meditating and doing that. Hmm.
yes, I think it's there's like you have two gears, right? You have like the fast gear, and then you have the slow gear. Like doing a plank is a different thing than doing a bench press. Like it's a different series, or doing a plank is different from striking a heavy bag. Let's call it like that. Like
Okay.
your different
Yeah.
mindset, different rhythms, different like way you hold your body, the different muscles I feel are involved even. Uh,
Yeah.
so maybe it's when you're in that, like in the high gear, you probably don't even notice it. Like you say, you don't notice it either way, because of course, how could you? You're the thing vibrating. How could you know that you're vibrating? If your phone is vibrating in your pocket, you're like, oh, that thing that's not me is vibrating me. I noticed I went from my vibration to my vibration plus. But when you're like, I'm just me, like, where's the vibration? It doesn't exist. And then somebody is like, You're vibrating.
Oh man.
Dude,
Well, I've
it's
been thinking about that for a while now. Ever since that happened, I was like, there it is again. Like, every time I do Reiki, and I was like, and you know what else I noticed? I started doing different symbols. I started doing the Om symbol, right?
Mhm.
And I did the Buddhist swastika, and that also gets a response.
It certainly gets a response from the left.
Oh man, what a great time. Thanks for making time, man.
Yeah,
I really enjoy these chats, and Matt is some sort of psychic. I mean, he was so close to guessing that name.
it's very close. It's very, yeah, that's great. All right. Well, thank you again. And we'll do
Be
this
well.
soon.
Yes. All right, let's keep tabs on Eugene, and if you're going over there at any point, I'd be happy to join you. I